Nilakantan, are you not able to hear me? Nilakantan? I think he's having some problem. Others are able to hear, right? Surya?
Yeah, we can able to hear. This is Narendra here.
Hi. Okay.
Hi, this is Vishwabandhu. I am also able to hear you.
Okay, good. I think Nilakantan is having some audio problem. Okay, so I hope all of you have attended that PMP session, right? The 4-day session from ITechGuru. So you might have had some idea about Agile. So what is the plan today? So we'll be going deep dive into the Agile, right? And before getting into what is Agile and what is not Agile, so we'll start the session with a few Q&A. Is that fine with all of you? So you would like to be very interactive. And okay, I'll go to straight to Vishwa. Right, according to you, what is Agile, Vishwa? What's your learning? What is your thought process?
So Agile is a kind of a project management where we can do the things parallelly, and it is more flexible in terms of the execution of the sequences or activities during the project.
Okay, good. What about you, Surya? I'm just randomly picking up the people. Surya, are you able to hear me? Surya Narayana Paul.
Yeah, I am hearing you.
Yeah. According to you, what is
Agile
Agile?
is nothing but it is just new, change is new technology like in IT parks, like old new schematic or new system has to generated in the like IT parks and projects. New technology.
New technology, new system, new project management. Okay. What about you, Kirtana? Are you able to hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is actually a flexible process that is related to project management, where we can make the changes flexibly based upon the customer request.
Okay. What about you, Suresh Babu? According to you, what is Agile? Suresh Babu, are you able to hear me? Okay, Sundar. Sundar Prabhakara. Are you able to hear me first of all, Sundar Prabhakara? Rajesh.
Agile is, I think, Agile is a methodology. So basically, if you want to move and do quickly and easily, so I think you will be using Agile development approach.
Okay. Good. Okay. Who else want to answer what is Agile? Srini, Sundar Nadar. Prabhakara. Yeah.
So, sir, this is Narendra here. I just wanted to add a few things here. That Agile is something which is a project management methodology, you can say, where the scope is not fixed, requirements are keep changing from the customer side, and Agile is following the iterative models where each of the iterative are having a short cycle, like a 3 weeks or 4 weeks of execution cycles, where the minimum value product will be out. We will call it as a every iterative cycle is having some definite deliverable, and that deliverable will be a minimum value product which will be as per the customer requirement. And Agile closely follows Scrum, Kanban and extreme programming kind of a model for development of a new project as per the requirement change, and it's kind of a very iterative, means it's a small cycles, 3 to 4 weeks.
Okay, good. What about Siri? Siri, you would like to add anything? Goldie, Avinash, would like to add? What is Agile? It's a simple question.
Yes, this is Avinash here.
Yeah.
Okay, so has some of the team members said that it is an simple, methodology where you can add up any of the new things that has been scope provided by the client. So during the implementation process, there is an workflow in between. You can add up in any other things so that it can be completed. So it is an iterative process, as one of the team members.
Okay, good. Okay, anybody would like to add? Open question to all. Anybody would like to add anything missed out in the definition of what is Agile? Yeah, Suresh.
Yeah, this is Suresh. Actually, Agile is a plan-driven life cycle, also known as plan-driven life cycle. Sorry, change-driven life cycle. Because this here scope is not defined before itself. So, like small time sprints, we will create. We will create trials, and we will show to customer. They will see, and they will give feedback. Based upon their feedback, we will modify the product, and as a partial delivery, we will deliver something, and remaining features we will start preparing, and we will deliver one by one.
Okay, good. Okay, so I'll just try to share some screen. So anyhow, as you know that if you attended my class, I will not be going through the slide one by one, right? It's more to do with the interaction. Yeah, so how you ask, how you participate, and accordingly the class will be driven. So the class is not based on the slides what you have. Okay, so you may need to be very interactive in the session to understand more. Okay, so to summarize, right, whatever you people are telling, so few of the things, right, we call it as an agile, but there are a lot of misconceptions about the agile. Okay, I'm not pointing it out. Okay, we'll see what are the different terminologies or different words people used to define what is agile. One is technology. So agile is not a technology at all. Okay, what is technology, right? You can say that your Microsoft.NET is a technology. Yeah, Java is a technology, right? Like that, different coding, C, C++, those and all can be called as a technology, or something like a nano programming or machine learning, yeah, and let's say blockchain. So all those things can be called as a technology. But however, Agile is not a technology. So we need to keep that out of the packet. Okay, somebody told Agile as a system. Please understand, Agile is not a system. Okay, so what is a system? When will you call something as a system? Without that, you cannot. First, we should define what is a system, right? Before even we call Agile as a system. Okay, so please understand, Agile is not a system. Okay, system means actually it is like an organization where everybody acts, right? And there is some certain set of defined process, right, within a system. For example, you have a HR management system within your organization, financial management system within your organization. In fact, project management itself can be called as a system, right? So that is why in the PMBOK also, if you go through, no, there is in the first few chapters, right? They have also defined what is a system. Yeah. So, but please understand, Agile is not a system. Okay. So we ruled out Agile as a technology. So we ruled out Agile as a system, right? And somebody told it's a project management methodology. That's actually a misconception in the Agile world. And Agile is not a project management methodology at all. Some people even call something as an Agile project management. Yeah. So they say they are taking a class on Agile project management and all. So the thing is, we should know what is Agile. Then we will not confuse between a project management and Agile. But however, right, they are related to each other. Okay, I'm talking about the project management Agile. That is why people try to confuse. Okay, that is why if you all know, right, if you have gone through, how many of you are already PMP certified? Any of you here PMP certified already? Okay, so the thing is in the PMBOK, right, project management body of knowledge or book of knowledge, they have recently introduced the Agile concepts. Yeah, if you already know that the Agile based exam will be from the December 2020 onwards. That means January 2021 onwards. the exams, even the PMP exam will have an Agile flavor. They are related. That's what I'm trying to tell you, but they are different. So it's not a project management methodology. And somebody told it is an iterative model. Yeah, but please understand, Agile, yes, it is an iterative model, but the definition iterative model is only partial, meaning Agile is both iterative and incremental model. Okay, don't only use the word iterative alone. Agile is both iterative and incremental. Okay. Having said that, what is the difference between iterative and incremental? I think Raji, somebody told Agile is an iterative model. Can you please explain what is iterative? Suresh?
Iterative, it is continuous, sir. It is in cycle.
Okay. Then what is incremental?
Incremental, it means it is progressive.
Okay. Others?
Iterative means repetitive. Incremental means it's like in small pieces of approach.
Okay. Okay. So you all agree that Agile is both iterative and incremental?
Yes.
Yeah. If it is only iterative, see, iterative means simply put it, it's a fine tuning, something which is already there. That is called as iterative. If you are already working in IT, right? IT field, you know, in IT we have something called for loop and while loop. Yeah. For is equal to 1, I less than or equal to 10, like that. That's nothing but we call it as an iterative loop. The same loop will get executed. The same code will getting executed multiple number of time, n number of time, let's say. Okay. So that is called as iterative. But Agile is not just iterative. Agile is both iterative and incremental model of development. Yeah. Of course, we'll look into the detail. What is iterative? What is incremental? Yeah. Okay. Somebody told that Agile is also change driven and it is not plan driven. In fact, that gets the deep dive into what is change driven, what is plan driven. For example, right, if you attended the PMP session, we'll be talking about the planning. Yeah. So, for example, in the PMBOK, we have something called the PMBOK, right? I hope you all of you know about it. There we have defined around 49 process. That is, if you want to know about project management, you need to learn all this 49 process. Yeah, that's completely planned driven. We plan something, then we execute something, and then we do monitoring and controlling. That is what is called as a traditional project or traditional project management. Okay, but however, Agile is completely change driven. What is change driven? See, okay, before getting into what is change driven, what is plan driven, what is iterative, what is incremental, what is minimal viable product. Yeah. So these are all the terms related to Agile, no doubt about it. Yeah. We look into all those terminologies. And when you talk about the Agile is, right, Agile is nothing but managing stability and flexibility. That's as simple as that. Immediately, you should not talk about Agile means software development or iterative or increment. Even though all these terminologies are related, what is simply Agile? Agile is what? Managing stability versus flexibility. If you go towards 100% stability, it's very, very difficult to execute the project. Okay. When you say that your project is 100% stable, when the scope is fixed, yeah, when the plan is fixed, when there is no change, yeah, and the requirement is 100% clear, crystal clear, yeah, then only we can call it as a stable project. Yeah, but very difficult to execute, very difficult to have those kind of projects nowadays, right? At least some changes will be there. Yeah, so you cannot go towards the stability. On the other side of the spectrum, we have flexibility. What is flexible? That is what somebody told. No, change it driven. Change is allowed. Customer can change whatever you want. Now the next question comes, right? Can you be 100% flexible? See, the customer changes the requirement every week. Okay, we'll say okay, we'll do it. There is a methodology called as extreme programming. If the customer changes the requirement every day, still we can do it. What if the customer changes every hour the requirement? I hope you are able to understand what I'm talking, right? Yeah. So it's very difficult to execute. That means it's better you not to do anything. Okay, customer changes every minute, every second, every hour. Better not to do anything. Yeah, you just keep quiet. Anyhow, the requirement customer is giving at 6:30 today will get changed by 7:30. Why should you implement 6:30 whatever is giving? Just wait for 6:30, 7:30 to change it. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you, 100% flexibility is also not possible. Yeah. So agile is something between stability and flexibility. So how are you managing between the stability and flexibility? That is what is called as agile. Okay. Any questions so far? What you discussed? I hope I have introduced a lot of terminologies here before getting into what is agile. But yeah, any question? No question? Okay. So you see that agile is one of the methodology. Somebody, I think one person used the word. It's a development approach. It's a methodology. In fact, that is the exact definition. When you talk about applying agile in development, then agile is called as one of the agile. Agile is one of the methodology. Yeah, agile is one of the development approach. Having said that, what are the other development approach? You know, one very famous one is called as waterfall methodology, right? All of you know waterfall methodology, right? Why it is called waterfall? Hello.
The sequential approach, I think.
Yes.
Step by step, planning.
Okay, as the water falls. Yeah, Narendra, go ahead.
So it's a step-by-step approach where one phase is complete and then only another phase is going to start. For an example, after design is complete, then only development is started. It's not a parallel.
Exactly. That is exactly is called as waterfall. If you say something as a waterfall, right, as a waterfall from one step to the another step, yeah, it will not go back to the previous step. No, water always falls down. Similar way, when you go from the one step of requirement to the next step called design, you will not go back to the requirement phase. Tell me, all of you here as a project manager, how many projects you have executed like this? At least I have never executed a project like that at all in my life. 100% pure waterfall methodology. Only in the contract it is given as a waterfall. Correct, no? In the design phase, the customer will ask for the requirement change. Yeah.
Yes, true.
Yeah.
Particularly, the wonder is actually in the testing phase, you will ask a lot of requirement and changes. Yeah. User acceptance testing, unit testing, system testing. There only the customer will wake up and he'll say, hey, that change, requirement, you need to do something. You'll sometimes forget about change. You'll also add the requirement there. Yeah. So that creates a complexity further. That means we are not executing waterfall at all. Please understand. Okay, only in the contract, your agreement, we write it as a waterfall methodology. But understanding waterfall methodology is very easy, but executing waterfall methodology is very difficult. I hope all of you agree with this, right? Executing waterfall methodology is difficult. Following the waterfall methodology is difficult, but understanding it's very easy. Yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you, even though in the traditional project we call something as a waterfall, we are actually not executing a project in the waterfall methodology. See, throughout this class, right, we'll refer the waterfall methodology as a traditional method, because this is what we have been following for that from 80s or 90s onwards, right? So we'll be referring this as a traditional methodology. So don't confuse between a traditional methodology and waterfall. It's all one and the same. Yeah. But however, right, in the traditional methodology, we also go to the next other methodology or model called as iterative and incremental. So what is the iterative method? As some of you are telling, right? Waterfall methodology itself can be executed using iterative method. What is the meaning? So I'll go to the design. If there is a problem in the design, I can go back to requirement. You are able to understand this? Yeah. I'll go to development. It's not only I'm doing development. I'll go back to design. I'll go back to requirement also. I'll go to testing. I'll go back to development also, design also, requirement also. Yeah. So same thing getting executed multiple time, or whenever there is a fine tuning, yeah, that occurs, then it is called as iterative methodology. Then what is an incremental method? Any guess? What is incremental method?
Developing in small pieces.
Exactly. Development of chunks, right? For example, you have a 10 modules. Okay, take one module, finish it off completely, then go to another module. There also you need to be very cautious, right? When I'm doing a module 2, I will not touch the module 1. I hope you are able to understand this, right? If you go and touch the module 1, then what will happen? Then you are following an iterative approach. Yeah, finish completely module 1, throw it away. Take the module 2, finish it off, throw it away. Take module 3, finish it off and throw it away. That is called as what? Incremental approach. Yeah, but now you see that Agile is both iterative and incremental approach. Agile is both iterative and incremental approach. What do you mean by iterative and incremental? Whatever is there in the board, right? Requirement design, coding, testing, launching, or whatever it is, right? Let's call it as a iterative 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So what I'm trying to tell you, when I'm going from iterative 1 to iterative 2, right, I will actually fine tune the code of the iterative 1. Okay. In Agile, we call this an iteration. We are not calling it as a phase. Okay. So in the when I'm working on the iterative 2, I will be fine tune the codes of the iterative 1. I will also something on top of the iterative 1 code. You remember we discussed about incremental model? Yeah. So some addition also will happen, fine tuning also will happen. So when you go from one step to another step, both the fine tuning and addition will happen in an agile methodology. If any one of the thing is missing, it's not an agile. Keep that in mind. Is that clear? So whenever you are executing agile methodology, you need to keep two things in mind. It should be both iterative and incremental. So you should keep adding something on top of already existing product. You also need to fine tune the already existing product. Okay, any questions here? No question? See, that leads to the definition of agile. Okay, whatever we are discussing in this class, whatever is being used in the world, right? It is a definition being used by Scott Ambler. Scott Ambler is one of the agile pioneers in the world. Okay, he is the one who defined what is agile. Okay, so whenever you now onwards, when somebody is asking what is agile, you need to use this in a full sentence. Yes, we started with the first thing, right? Agile is an iterative and incremental. Incremental means evolutionary addition approach to any development, including software. Yeah, but that is not the end of the story. Okay, Agile is performed in a highly collaborative manner. So the collaboration is a fundamental. A lot of people know in IT world also they keep only the first word, iterative and incremental. Just like that they go. Okay, yesterday waterfall model. Okay, today I'm doing agile project. Okay, then what is the role? They will also have a different role. Okay, the role kept the same. Project manager, so no architect, developer, tester, senior architect, junior architect. All the roles they keep same. Okay, then what do you mean by collaborative here? Collaboration with whom?
Collaboration between the team.
Okay.
Working team.
Between all the stakeholders.
All the stakeholders. Okay. The keyword is including all the stakeholders, including the customer. This is very, very important. Okay. The word collaboration we might not have discussed while we're talking about traditional project methodology. Yeah. Maybe project management, few of the soft skill required, you might be using the word collaboration. Yeah. But however, Agile says that the fundamental principle of Agile is collaboration. So what do you mean by collaboration? For example, let's say that Suresh Babu and Siri are part of my team. What Suresh Babu is doing today, I should know. What Siri is doing, I should know. What I am doing, Suresh should know. What I am not doing, Siri and Suresh Babu should know. I hope you are able to understand this, right? So there is something 100% transparent thing. Yeah. So everybody knows everything. Everybody else knows what the other people are doing. That is actually called as collaborating, including customer. But you know, in a traditional project, what do you do? Customer actually getting the view of the product only at the end of the project, correct? Because we say that final phase of the project only we create a product or service or results. In between, we create a lot of documents, right? high-level design, low-level design, database design, test cases, test document, requirement documentation, yeah, whatnot, test plan, implementation plan, deployment plan, security plan, project management plan. Like this, we create so many documents. But why are you creating so many documents? Finally, for creating the product, right? But the product visibility comes to the customer only at the end. Yeah. But Agile says that don't do that kind of thing. Create something iterative and incremental, and that too in a highly collaborative manner. So everybody needs to collaborate with everybody. The keyword is project management terminology is called as stakeholders collaboration, including customer. Yeah. So when you say collaboration, of course, we will discuss about this further, the meaning of the collaboration and all. It means the first word is openness and transparent. So everybody is 100% transparent with other. Okay. But you know that in traditional project, definitely it is not being followed. Yeah. Customer will not know what the developer is doing. Within the developer, tester will not know what the coder is developing. Yeah. And the coder will not know what the tester is testing. There will be a lot of confusion. That is why we create a lot of documents and all. The document is to ensure that everybody is doing their job better. Correct? No?
Yes.
It's not. I'm not saying that it is not required. It's required. Agile also says that. But the purpose of the document is what? To ensure that the other party is doing the work. For example, right? Why are you documenting everything in a requirement documentation?
As a proof.
As a proof. See that? Yeah. The moment you talk about the proof, that means you are not depending on somebody. Is that clear?
Yes.
I mean, you are not trusting the other party. Yeah. That is why if I am the business analyst, I'm creating a requirement documentation because I want to document everything. I want to say proof. I have captured all the requirements. If designer misses something, it is a design problem. If a coder is not doing the requirement, it is a coder's problem. But what is my job? Okay, my job is business requirement gathering. I did my job by creating a documents. I'll go to another project. But don't you think that if I am part of the project, I should also take part in the final product also? Until the product comes out, it is my responsibility also, correct? But actually, it is not happening in a traditional project. A requirement analyst will only gather the requirement. Yeah, particularly the designer will do only the design. He will not bother about whether it's possible to do the coding or the final thing and all. He'll say that yes, my job is over, design is done, architect is done, I'm moving out. That's it. Yeah. But Agile says that it's not such a way that no, you do the job and move away. Come, you work collaboratively. You talk to everybody. You talk to the designer. Of course, you will also understand that there is no designer, there is no requirement, there is no tester in Agile project. We'll talk about it later. The moment the collaboration starts, everybody start doing everybody else's job. So that is the meaning of collaboration. Okay, manner with just enough ceremony. What do you mean by just enough ceremony? A lot of people think that agile means not following any process. It's actually is not so. Agile says that you follow the process, nothing wrong. But what is the term they're using? Just enough ceremony. You decide. You collaboratively decide whether it is really required, that ceremony is required. Yeah, that process is really required. If so, do it. So Agile is not against the documentation again. A lot of people say Agile project, no, hey, I'm working in Agile project, I will not do the documentation. Agile is not against any documentation. Agile says that you see that the documentation is really required and then do it. But you prove, is it really required? Yeah, you want to really follow the process. If the process is really required and then do it. But in in a traditional project, we do follow lots and lots of process. Yeah, without even knowing that why are we following the process. They'll say some HIPAA complaints, that complaints, CMMI complaints, ISO complaints. Yeah, customer will follow some process. Like this, we follow n number of process, n number of methodology without even knowing what we are doing. Finally, as a contract, we need to create the product, correct? I hope you are able to understand this. Yeah, manner with just enough ceremony. Then that's not the end of the story. Just because you are doing bits and pieces, you are not moving away from the quality. A lot of people think, no, I am doing bits and pieces. I can compromise on the quality, but actually it is not so. That produces high quality software. So high quality software is the ultimate aim of doing the Agile. Agile does not mean that moving away from the quality. Quality is built in. Yeah. So we need to create a high quality software product, which means The last word is very, very important, which means changing needs of its stakeholder. That is a lot of people say change driven. Yeah, that's nothing but the last word, which means the changing needs of its stakeholder. In fact, I try to underline all the keywords, but I ended up doing all the words were given a underline here because each and every word is very, very important. So, any question on this definition of agile team? Anyway, we will deep dive each and every terminology as we move forward today. But this is a high level. Without understanding what is agile, no, we cannot deep dive further. Is it clear, all of you? So even in the interview, if somebody asks what is agile, okay. So don't say just iterative and incremental. The answer is partially right. As per the definition of Scott Ambler, agile is an iterative and incremental approach of development, which is performed in a highly collaborative manner. Second word, right? With just enough ceremony that produces high quality software, which meets the changing needs of its stakeholder. There should be 5 keywords should be clearly defined. While you're defining an agile. Let me repeat, 5 keywords are there. Yeah. What is the 5 keywords?
Iterative and incremental.
Iterative and incremental. Collaborative fashion it is developed with just enough ceremony, high quality software, changing needs of its stakeholders. If these all these 5 are very, very important. If you remember, if you attended my session on PMP, right? PMP, well, defining project, we use 3 keywords. Yeah. Similarly, agile, you need to use all these 5 keywords. If all these 5 keywords are not used, it is not an agile. A lot of people just to follow iterative and incremental. They are not collaborative at all. Then you are not agile. Yeah. You follow a number of process without even understanding it, then it is not a process. It is not a agile at all. Yeah. You are creating a product which is very high much of a lot of defects. Then it is not a agile. Yeah. And you are not implementing the changes. You say that no changes cannot be accommodated. Then you are not executing agile projects. So agile means all these 5 needs to be there. Let me repeat this word before we move on further. Agile is iterative and incremental. Yeah. And created in a highly collaborative manner with just enough ceremony that produces high quality product and meets the changing needs of its stakeholder. Is that clear, all of you?
Yeah.
So use all these 5 keywords while you're defining agile, not partially. Yeah. Okay. Now we know what is agile. Any question on this team? What is agile? So agile is another life cycle model. If you go further, deep dive further, we know that in project management also, PMP also, we learned about life cycle. Yeah. Project life cycle in particular. Agile is one of the life cycle model or methodology. Okay. Any
Can you
question?
one more time, please explain what is just enough ceremony?
Yeah. So just enough ceremony. Ceremony means process or creating a documents. Yeah. So Agile says that don't create. Agile is not telling you that don't follow the process. Agile is not telling you don't follow the documents. You need to only ask, is it really required? Just to required, you do it. For example, right? You don't plan a project for 1 year projects. Yeah. But in a traditional project, we create something called developing the schedule. 1 whole year projects, we try to create a schedule. Yeah. Because there also we use something called progressive elaboration. But Agile says that what is required, you need to do some work for next week. You need to do some work for today and tomorrow. Just plan for it. What is just required, do it. Don't go beyond. That's the meaning of just enough ceremony. Unnecessarily don't plan anything. Unnecessarily don't create anything. When it is required, you do it. There is something called just in time. JIT, JIT, just in time planning. Yeah, you got it. For example, right? If you people are traveling, right? Let's say that there are people who travels 200 days in a day in a year, no, across the globe. People keeps on traveling. What they will do, right? If you keep on planning it, what you will do for next year and all, no, that will not work out. So if you talk to those people, they will tell clearly what is required for you next 10 days, next week. Okay, then I'll plan. As you move on, I'll plan for the other 10 days. That is called as just enough ceremony. Is that clear? So when it is required for you, do it. When planning is required, do the planning. When execution is required, do it. When the coding is required, do it. When the document is required, do it. But when it's required, do it. That is called as just enough ceremony. Yeah, just enough means when it is required. That's the meaning. And that too, when how much is required, do it. Don't plan much. Don't plan slow also. Is that clear, Naren?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about others? Any other question? No question. So we talked about the 5 keywords. Let me repeat this 5 keyword. I will not repeat it as you move on. Okay. So the thing is, you need to keep this whenever somebody is asking what is agile. Don't say just iterative, change driven, incremental. We need to use all the things, right? Agile is an iterative and incremental way of developing something, right? With highly collaborative fashion, just enough ceremony, high quality soft product output, and based on the changing needs of the stakeholder. So that is a full definition of what is agile. Okay, let's move on. This is a definition given by who? Scott Ambler. Keep that in mind. Okay. Now we know what is agile. Let's talk about how the agile terminologies, agile things got evolved. Right. That is very important before even getting into the details of what is agile. Yeah. Please understand very recently. Okay. In the year 2001, just 19, 20 years before, particularly on February 11 to 13, the lot of agile enthusiasts they gathered together in a place called Utah. Okay, 17 people. So who are all these 17 people, right? They are the pioneers of agile. They call themselves whatever they do is an agile. For example, right? There is something called Scrum methodology, as some of you told. It is one of the agile methodology. Scrum is not agile. Okay, agile is not Scrum because they are different. Okay, Scrum is agile methodology. Okay, there is something called extreme programming. You heard this word? XP, extreme methodology. Okay, and there is something called dynamic system development methodology, DSTM. Okay, there is something called crystal methodology. There is something called feature development driven methodology. Yeah, like this, there are so many methodologies. There is n number of agile methodology in the world, but out of that, the Scrum methodology is very famous nowadays. Yeah, that is why people try to confuse Scrum as agile and agile as Scrum. But Scrum is one of the agile methodology. You need to keep that in mind. Yeah, but yes, it is very famous, and there is something called SAFe nowadays. It's getting very famous, right? Uh, like this, there are and Kanban. Kanban is also another agile methodology. Like that, there are a lot of agile methodologies. Okay, and the person actually who coined the word Kanban and defined the process, the person Scrum who coined that terminology called Scrum, and some ceremonies, right? Some process, some framework was defined. Those owners, right? They all gathered together because everybody called that is an agile, no? Because before 2000, right? Let's say, for example, Narendra also can define something and they can say this is an agile process. Yeah, but what they designed, what they did actually, so let's all gather together, okay, in a place. Yeah, and what they decided, they want to have what is the common thing across all this between a Scrum, DSDM, adaptive, feature driven, XP, right? And what is very much common between all these things? And they actually coined something called as Agile Manifesto. Agile Manifesto. You can also visit the website agilemanifesto.org. We'll also shortly will debrief all those things. What is Agile Manifesto? What is there inside? Okay, and now they on the date of February 11 to 13 they declared it. Now onwards, that is 2001 onwards, anybody anybody call their methodology as an agile, they need to follow this minimal set of things that is defined in the Agile Manifesto. Okay, we will also debrief further what is Agile Manifesto. This is how the concept of Agile got evolved in the recent past. Okay, if you ask me who are all those people, and those people are nothing but these are all the people: Scott Ambler, That's just now we discussed, no? Who coined the word agile? We are following, right? That person, right? And who else? They're all very famous. Bob Martin, right? And Alistair Cockburn, right? These are all the very famous methodology. I told you these are all the people who gathered together in Utah in the year 2011 to coin Agile Manifesto. Yeah, that gives a guideline for the all other people to call something as an Agile. Otherwise, what will happen? Everybody call whatever they follow, they call something as an Agile. But of course, even Agile Manifesto is there. We also in our organization, what we do, we follow something, we call it as an Agile. We follow as per our whatever comes for us. Yeah, whatever is easy for us, or whatever we know for us, whatever we understand for us, we just follow and then we call it as an Agile. But actually, you should know if you are Agile pioneer, whatever you do, just see that is it in alignment with Agile Manifesto. Then only it should be called as Agile. Okay, team, any question on this? The evolution of Agile? So they did the brainstorming in 2001, February, and the outcome is Agile Manifesto. Okay, let's move on. I told you that incremental versus iterative, right? You are able to see the screen, all of you?
Okay.
Yeah.
See this? This is the difference between incremental and iterative. So you need to clearly understand the difference. And Agile is both iterative and incremental, I told you. Now, very simple, right? Let's talk about the first one. We are trying to draw the Mona Lisa picture. Yeah, you all know Mona Lisa, right? Mona Lisa picture is drawn. See what is happening in the incremental. Incremental is divided into 3 frames, and each frame is drawn. Each frame is drawn completely. You are able to understand this. See the first frame, only the head portion is drawn completely. You see the second portion, only the body part left is drawn completely, and third one is body part right is drawn completely. Then we get a full Mona Lisa picture. This is actually called incremental development. Are you doing this? Then that's called as incremental. On the contrary, you see what is iteration? Iteration, the first frame, okay, I draw the Mona Lisa picture, but not fully. I do only the skeleton. Then what happened after that? Fine tune, fine tune, fine tuning. Then after n number of fine tuning, I'm getting the final Mona Lisa picture. If you do that fine tuning, it is called as what? Iterating. But what is Agile? Agile is both iterative and increment. You see that first frame in the top, no, I take it. But will I draw the complete Mona Lisa picture? The answer is no. I'll draw the skeleton. I'll move on to the next frame here. Yeah. Then there also the next frame, what I'll do, I'll draw it skeleton. But at the same time, the fine tuning also will happen there. I hope you are able to understand this. Just to merge both these iterative and incremental, then it is called as Agile. Okay, any question, team, here? I hope you are able to understand this. What is it? What is incremental? What is iterating? Is it clear, all of you?
Yes.
So will you be sharing the slides as well with us, or?
Yeah, we'll share by end of the day.
Okay.
Any questions? Okay, so good. Why are we going for an incremental iterative? Now, next question. If you know everything, you need to answer me. Yeah. Tell me, why are we going for an incremental iterative? What is the purpose? What is that you are trying to achieve? I can do it in a plan-driven methodology, right? I can plan completely the drawing the Mona Lisa picture, and then I can start doing it, right? But why are we doing it in iterative and incremental fashion?
For partial delivery.
Okay. What will happen if we do partial delivery?
We will get the approval for the partial delivered things. Then we will move on to the next step.
Correct, Suresh. You're right, actually. But why are you doing partial delivery?
We will get a quick feedback.
To reach the market fast.
Okay. If you reach the market fast, what will happen? 5 Ys. You know 5 Ys. That's what I'm doing. Yeah. What will happen if you do market early? You're right. Go to the next step.
You will get a quick feedback.
Okay. From whom?
Customers.
Customers.
Okay, I think
Users.
you're reaching the market. Why are you reaching the market early?
Competition.
Competition.
Okay, if you beat the competitor, what will happen?
Revenue generation.
Revenue. Money.
Market share. You will get the
Market share. You see that the end result is increasing the market value to the market value, market share, profit. Yeah, that is the ultimate aim of going for an iterative increment. It adds value to the end user. It adds
That's
value
right.
to the customer. Yeah, maximize the benefit. You all got it? What I'm saying? Okay, so please understand. I actually take this example also when I'm defining in Agile in a project management classes also. How many of you are using some bank.com, ICICIbank.com, SBAbank.com? I hope all of you are using, right? For transferring the money, yeah, and then seeing how much of banking transaction money you have in the bank, yeah, or the account something got credited, something got debited, yeah. Sometimes the goods will get returned. You return goods from Amazon, then you see that whether the money is getting credited back or not. Okay, you say that you in the COVID-19 situation you booked some flight got cancelled, whether the money got credited to your account or not. Okay, so all those things what I'm trying to tell you, you use that somebank.com. Okay, that was not possible 20 years before or 25 years before or 30 years, right? So that is the first value add what your people are doing. But out of this, tell me one thing. Let's say that there are 100 functionalities there in ICICIbank.com. How many functionalities are more frequently used by the user? Any guess?
Check balance. Bill payment.
Number. No, I'm not asking what functionality
Maybe
you use.
20%.
Number, yeah. How much out of 100 functionalities are being more frequently used?
4 or 5.
4 or 5. Okay. Okay. Any other answer?
20.
Okay. One of the recent survey, right, tells that around 20% of the functionalities are more frequently used by one user or other. Okay. If I ask Rajesh to list down what are the things, he will tell something. If I ask Suresh, he will tell some other thing. If I ask Siri may be using it for some other functionality. But put it together, sum it up, 20% of the overall functionality is more frequently used by multiple users, end user. Okay. And 35 functionalities are very rarely used. It is being used, but very rarely used. Any of the example of that? You're using it, but very rarely. In ICICIbank.com or any bank.com. Maybe on a monthly once. Transferring your EMI, correct? Transferring fund, right? Electricity bill payment.
Statements.
Yes. Right? And please understand that kind of number is 35. See that 20 is more frequently used and 35 is rarely used by across multiple people. What about remaining 45? Any guess?
Very rarely used.
Not
That
at
is
all.
35. The 35
Okay.
is very rarely used. 45 is never being used.
Yeah,
I
not
hope
at
all
all.
of you agree, right? See that ICICIbank.com. How many of you clicks that button, right? See, we see that our button is always on the left hand side, right? Transfer the money, this one, that's it. On the right hand side, there will be a number of buttons. We never even bother to click it, no? We think that it is for somebody else, not for us. Yeah?
Yeah.
What I'm trying to tell you, the trend says that it is 45. You see the number. So 20, 35, 45. That's how they split it up. Most used and very rarely used, not at all used. Now you tell me, if you are the project manager or product owner of developing that software, which one you will concentrate more? First, which one you will do?
On the 20%.
On the 20%, right? On the 20 functionality, right? Okay. Now, after doing 20, which one you will do? 35, correct? What you'll do on 45? Try not developing it. You got it what I'm saying? That will save a lot of time for everybody. You are able to understand? Yeah? Or maybe try to do it at the last if you have time. That's fine. But what I'm trying to tell you, this is an order, right? 20, 35, 45 is the order. All of you agree, understand? All of you? Any other different thoughts here? But what will you do in a traditional projects? We don't bother about the customer, right? We don't bother about the end user. What will you do? If 100 functionality is given to you, Rajesh, what will you do? In a traditional project. Question to Rajesh Sharma.
Develop all 100.
Develop all 100. In which order you will do?
Whatever order was given to us. I think whatever order was given to us.
No customer. You will not ask the customer, no. Right? You will not ask the end user. End user will always be contacted only at the user acceptance testing. Yeah. In a traditional project, right? And how will you order it?
We start with the quick wins, which are easy to develop.
This is what it is. In a traditional project, we see what is easy for us, what is medium for us. The difficult thing we'll do at the end, correct? All of you? Yes. Correct? No. That's how you have been taught. No. What is easy for you, do it quickly. And then go to medium, then go to tougher one. Tougher one always at the last we'll do. Okay. That is why most of the traditional projects fail at the end, not in the beginning. Yeah. But you see that Agile says that it's not a matter whether it is simple or medium or tough, but which is adding more value to the end user, do it at the beginning. Hope you are able to change the mindset, correct? The Agile approach completely change the mindset of the people. Yeah. Don't say it is a simple, medium, and complex, but you see that what is easy, difficult for you, but rather what is adding more value to the customer, do it first. Then lesser value, then not value. That is an order. So the order is based on the value. So we deliver value to the customer early. I hope all of you are able to understand this. Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Not only the deliver value early, we also deliver the value in that frequent interval also. But whereas in a traditional project, we give the final product only at the end of the project, correct? After doing 45 not at all useful junk thing also, we after that only we'll do, right? Assuming that even if you created it in the order of 20, 35, 45 also, when will you deliver the value? Deliver the value only after 100% of the product is created. But you know what Agile says that? Concentrate on 20. Out of the 20, which is the highest priority, create only that portion of that 1 out of 20. That is 1 bar 20. Yeah. Very high priority, high value item. Create it and deliver it. It will also go to the end user. When I say deliver, it's not only to the customer, it will go to the end user also. That is called as a release. Yeah. So it will also get released to the end user. Okay. So for example, when I use this ICICIbank.com, some 20 years before, I used to see only the last quarter transaction. I'm talking about that's a real estate in 99. When 99, 2000 and all only they introduced this ICICIbank.com portal, right? At that point of time, when I log into ICICIbank.com, I could see that only the last quarter transaction, not the live transaction. But over a period of time, they allowed me live transaction. Yeah. And over a period of time, again, they allowed me to download my banking transaction. Even some 5 years before, they allowed me to download it in PDF format, but I need to go and take a printout and get the signature of my ICICI Bank manager, physical, before even I go and apply in HSBC or HDFC for other loan. But you know what is the status today? I can download the digitally signed copy. There is no need for you to go to any other bank or ICICI Bank manager branch and all. You need not go. Just go take a printout and submit the printout to another bank. It will be accepted for as a proof. See what I'm trying to tell you. You see that functionality is getting fine tuned, right? But what happened there? First one or second one? Fine tuning.
Iterating.
Second one.
Second one. Yeah. Iterating. You see this? So that functionality somehow in the 20 years period is being massaged or fine tuned. Who knows? Tomorrow some other method, some other that in the downloading that thing also something else may come. We don't know, right? But what I'm trying to tell you that particular seeing your transaction, that one, and you know that some point of time maybe in the 2010 only they allowed me search functionality. You know that search, right? Previously they used to have only the one table. Okay, one blank table will be there. You need to keep on scrolling down, and you need to see all the transaction. But now they allowed me to search. Okay, greater than 1,000 rupees transaction, greater than 50,000 rupees transaction, or even you can put that no remarks column itself. You can put it with the remarks as Agile, with the remarks as Mauli, something like that. I can remarks as PMI, remarks as whatever it is. I can search for it. I can see the transaction. What I'm trying to tell you, that is also one of the addition, one of the incremental. Yeah. So what I'm during this period of 20 years, they also introduce some other new functionality. There are so many functionality. Let's talk about the example as let's say that money transfer from your bank to another bank. I think they introduced only in the year 2005, not in 2000. In 2005 or 7, when they introduced this functionality, I'm talking about the new other functionality. They allowed me to transfer from only from ICICI Bank to another ICICI Bank account, another ICICI Bank account. Yeah, that too. In those days, I remember even up to 2010, I remember that they had something called T+2 methodology. You know what is T+2? Supposingly say that I transfer your money from my account to Suresh. From my account, they will debit my money, but to Suresh, it will be credited only after 2 days.
2 days.
Yes.
Transaction plus 2 days.
2 days. Yes, that's a rule. Okay, but that was there in 2005, 2010. We call it that as an online transaction those days. Okay, when Suresh calls me, I'll say, hey, Suresh, I already transferred it. Yeah. He'll say, Suresh, no, I have not got the money. Wait for 2 days. Yeah. So after 2 days only, the fund will get transferred from to Suresh account. That was the status of money transfer on 2005 or 2010. Right. But today, live transaction. Right. Now, if I transfer it immediately next second, it will be credited to Suresh account. Yeah. So another thing is right that will I transfer the money from ICICI to ICICI somewhere down the line, they allowed me to transfer from ICICI to top 5 banks. Correct? Now, what is top 5 bank? Like State Bank of India, Canara Bank, Indian Bank, Indian Overseas Bank, like that. And now what happened? I can transfer money from any bank to any bank across the globe. I need to just go and register the account. I can transfer it now immediately. Even the money in 2000 and all, no, they did not allow us to transfer the money from across India. I mean, across the countries, we are not allowed to transfer the fund. But today I can do it. I hope you are able to understand this, right? That functionality is getting added somewhere, but that is also what happened. Fine tune, fine tune, fine tune. I hope you are able to visualize this. Any question on this? So, the ultimate purpose of this is both iterative and incremental. Yeah. But you see that changeability, the first one, right? Why you are going for an iterative and incremental development? The first graph, if you look into it, adaptability. What is adaptability? Adaptability in the sense actually, in the beginning, right? In the traditional project, whatever is drawn in the red line is a traditional project. Yeah. So adaptability will be very high. That means you are allowed to change everything in the beginning of the project. Yeah. But the end, you see that very quickly, you will say that no more change. Where? In a traditional project. But in an agile project, what will happen? You see that it is almost like going as a multiple U. That means, yes, the adaptability will go down, but what will happen when you go from one iteration to next iteration? Next iteration, you can add whatever you want, no? It's like, train going from one station to another station. Yeah. Let's say that session 1 and session 2. In session 2, anybody can get in, anybody can get out also. I mean, going out of the train also. That's always allowed, right? So whoever get in, they can get in. So that what I'm trying to tell you, the changes are being adapted in each and every iteration. You can keep on adding whatever you want. You can keep on changing whatever you want. That is called as what? Adaptability. So the adaptability is very, very high, very frequent adaptability in a traditional, in an agile projects than in a traditional projects. See the next one, visibility. You see that red one in the visibility in the second graph, right? The visibility is very high for the end user only at the end actually. Yeah, in a traditional project, because we give the product only at the end. But what happened to visibility here? In a agile projects, we give a smaller chunk, smaller product, correct? Visibility is very high for the end user, how the product will be. So the visibility is very high, frequently you are giving, and that is another advantage of going with an agile projects. Yeah. Third one is we are talking about the value. We provide incremental value. Say, I'm not saying that value is not provided in a traditional project. Value is provided in a traditional project only at the where? At the end. Yeah. But what happened in an agile projects? What happened in agile projects?
In each iteration, we are showing the value.
Yes.
At incremental manner.
Yes. So here you see that every iteration I keep on delivering the high incremental value. See that here, okay. So since I provided the yearly value, that is an yearly adoption. That is what you people are telling, no, hitting the market, beating the competitor. Okay. See that it takes this much time. This is the time, right? If you take this much time, let's say that this whole thing is taking 1 year time period. But if you go in an agile project, let's say that in 1 month or 1 week or 2 weeks time period, the product will get, that's called as minimal viable products. That's the example I told you, right? Now ICICIbank.com, that is what had happened here. But you see, you take a lot of other banks nowadays, they have that, right? But they are not, the end users are not as high as the product which got implemented in the year 2000 and all, right? So this is a incremental value development that is happening in an agile projects. And last but not the least, see that risk and uncertainty. The risk is almost is high in a traditional project until you finish the project, and it goes down drastically while you're developing the product. But you see here in in an agile project, since you are delivering the product one by one, the risk keeps on going down, 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 down. At the end, the risk is zero. Okay. So please understand, never fail is the philosophy of a traditional projects. Never fail. When you say never fail, you know what will happen at the end, actually the failure will occur. But you know what is the philosophy of agile? Any guess? Never fail is the philosophy of a traditional. What is the philosophy of agile projects?
Fail to succeed.
Okay. Any other guess? Never fail is the philosophy of traditional project. What is the philosophy of agile project? Come on, guys. Surya, Suresh, guess, guess, guess. You need to participate. Any guess? Surya?
Keep failing and learn.
Keep failing and learn. Okay, good. Fail early is the principle of agile. Fail early. That means what? You are allowed to fail, but when you need to fail, you need to fail early. You know that. How did we all of us?
Learn by mistakes.
Yes, that is what fail learn. Somebody told, no. That's what it's called as fail early. See, for example, when you are learning cycling, right? In the beginning itself, you need to learn cycling. You fall down and learn. Yeah. So once you learn, or once you know how to drive the cycle, after 2 years or after 10 years and all, you should not fall down, right? You are becoming a master in cycling. Same thing with the bike, same thing with the car and all. The accident, yes, you are allowed to do accident, but in the beginning, while you are in the elbow, no, you are allowed to do an accident, right? That is also learning, right? How not to make an accident and all, you will need to learn in the beginning. Yeah. What I'm trying to tell you, that the thing is, as you move on, right, you should not fail. Same way in an agile project, what will happen? Agile project fail early. Meaning, why you are saying that fail early? Any guess? The last, this one will give the clue. Why are you saying that fail early?
Risk will be minimum, or the complete failure can be avoided.
Okay. Here the risk will be minimum, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Not high risk is high.
It's a high risk.
Please understand, all high risky item I will do in the beginning. Is that clear?
Yes.
So first
Yes.
we discuss about value. Remember, high value item I will do. That's what I told you, right? Wherever the value is high, I will do it. Now, wherever the risk is high, I will do in the beginning. So there is one more parameter is also there. The cost is low, I'll do in the beginning. So there are 3 parameters I'll use to prioritize the requirement. Of course, there is another name for requirement. We will talk about it as we move on. Yeah. So requirements are prioritized based on 3 parameters in an agile project. What are they? Number 1, value.
Risk,
Number 1, value.
value,
Okay.
yeah.
Number 2 is the risk. Number 3 is the cost. All of you agree and understand?
Yes, yes.
But in a traditional project, maybe cost will consider, but we will not consider the value under risk. We will not consider. I'm talking about for requirement prioritization. We'll consider the risk management. There is a topic called risk management in a traditional project, no doubt about it. But it will not be used for prioritizing the requirement. I hope all of you agree, understand what I'm talking. Yes. So out of the 20, which one I'll do first? Wherever it is high value, wherever it is high risk, and whichever comes with low cost. Is it clear, all of you? So 20, 35, 45, that's based on the end user value. And out of that, which one I'll do? Again, out of the 20, which one I'll give higher value, I'll do first. Out of the 20, which one will give a high risk, I'll do it first. Out of that, which one can be developed using less cost, I'll do it first. So value, risk, and cost are the parameters of prioritization of the requirement in an agile projects. This is what this graph, all these graph talks about it: adaptability, visibility, value, and risk. Based on this only, see, we need to design the agile in such a way that that happens, correct? So that happens only if you are prioritizing it based on the risk. Then only the risk will go down like this. Then only the value will go up like this. Then only the change will go like this. Adaptability will go like this. Then only the visibility will occur to the customer. Because if you give a low visible product now, you will not use it at all. Yeah. So I will give out of 20, which is a high priority, high value, and which one will go with the higher risk, and which one will be going with the lower cost. Okay. Any questions, team, here? No question. Shall we move on? Yeah. So why are we choosing Agile? Why are we choosing Agile? First one is high transparency. What do you mean? Transparency with whom?
Customers or client.
So everybody knows there is a project is moving. Yeah.
Yeah.
There is a complete transparency. I will not hide anything with anybody. Please understand. But in a stakeholder, in a traditional project, right? Some information I will not tell it to this person. Some information I will not tell it to another person. Here, the project progress is known to everybody. Everybody knows where the project is progressing. Transparency. Yeah. So transparency means, please understand, it's very openness. Okay. So being open to public scrutiny. When you say public, not the generic people, but anybody can come and say what is the status of the project. That means transparent. So if you are very transparent in Agile project, you are 100% transparent to the status of the project. Any question on this, team? There is no hidden agenda. There is no hidden documents. You see, for example, I'll tell you, is there any hidden documents there in a traditional project? I'll tell you the requirement, the high level design, low level design, and all. No, only if they say, hey, the document is only for designer. Yeah, you will not understand like that. People will tell. Okay, the tester, you will ask for the, I want to go through the design. Why do you want to go to design document? Yeah, you are a tester. You do only testing. Okay, so like this, some document is intended to be used by only for certain set of people. But here, it's a transparent. Everybody knows everything. There is no hiding. It's complete openness is there. Yeah, and because of that, what is the advantage of being transparent? What is the advantage?
Every stakeholder knows what's going on in the project and where we stand.
Okay, yes, you are right. What is the advantage of that?
A project will get early completion because of this transparency. And
how?
as it is transparency, so that even the quality has not been more affected, and so repetitive work has not happened, and that's why it is more fast, this project. This is also an aspect.
Okay. Any other answer?
Everybody can contribute for the betterment of the product.
Because if somebody, yes, you are right. Why everybody will contribute actually? Because if there is some lagging there, because you are transparent, people will know that you are struggling to do something, they will come and contribute. Is that clear? Because everybody knows the status, people know that what is that you are requiring. So thereby the contribution will occur. Is that clear what I'm telling? In a traditional project, I will not go and tell what is the problem to the outsider. So nobody will come and help me. Is it clear? That's number one. Number two, even you see that unless otherwise, this also helpful for us to admit the failure also. For example, if the project failed, people all know why the project failed. It's not that some X person, because of the X person, the project failed. Because of Y person, project fail and all will not occur. Because you are very transparent, you know where it is heading towards. Yeah. So the admission of the failure that also occur because of the transparency. Is that clear? So thereby it is also learning for all others. No, say you fail and why it fail, you also understand it. Then next time you will not repeat the same mistake, right? But in a traditional project, what will happen? Nobody will know why the project failed. People keep on repeating. You just go around, look around, whatever the organization you are working. Yeah, most of the failure in the project will be repeated in nature. The reason for the failure. But the poor thing is most of the project, no, the project failed because of the project manager. But the thing is, other people will not know. They keep on repeating the same mistake. So now, right, because of the COVID-19 situation, again, the importance of the project managers increases in the organization. Because people understand the real value of the project manager only in the crisis situation. In the normal situation, no, people will not understand the value. I hope you are able to understand this. Yeah.
Yes.
And this also, being a transparent also allows you to stay on track with the work. Whatever is committed, you need to deliver. So in a traditional project, what you commit, what you commit itself is not open, but how will you deliver it? Even if you deliver it early also, you will not know, other people will not know. If you commit late also, but here, your commitment is also open, your delivery is also open, you know where the project is moving towards. When I say you include everybody, yeah, that is what the main objective of executive. That is what why we choose Agile, why the customer choose Agile, because of the transparency in the way the project is getting executed. You know that another thing is that when I say transparency, the capability of the resources also will come out very quickly out. You understand what I'm talking? Capability of the resources also will come out very quickly. When I say you are very good, and you will also be appreciated. You are not very good also, you know that you are not very good will be known to everybody. Hope it's clear. Yeah, it is not only about the product, it is not only about the process, it is about the people also will be exposed very quickly in an Agile projects. But it's not a question of exposing also, you can also learn, right? Anybody can fail. I mean, there's nothing, nobody is 100% perfect. Yeah, you are allowed to learn, but you learn, but you should not repeat the mistake again. That is the main advantage. That is why most of the customer wants to go for Agile, because of the transparency nature. So keep the word transparency. You cannot hide anything with anybody. Yeah. Next one is consistency. What do you mean by consistency? Any guess? What is consistency?
It is nothing but works will be moving, you can say, in same in identical manner or in the same function continuously in the same line. Progress or the good quality that is maintaining. It is maintaining in one sequence.
Okay, good. What about others? What do you mean by consistency in an Agile project?
Uniformly maintain.
Uniformly, okay. See, for example, you follow that, you do some error, you will come out of the error also very quickly. That is also consistency. You will not repeat the error also, because you know that previous one is transparent, right? If you repeat the error, the people will know it very quickly. Yeah, all of you understand and agree, right?
Yes.
And that is why the consistent delivery will keep on happening. Consistency in the sense, the improvement what you do, that will also be very consistent in nature. Yeah, the failure what you make, that will also be very consistent, meaning it will be very slow. You will not repeat the same mistake also. That is also meaning of the consistently. Yeah. Say another thing is very important. The timeline is also very consistent. For example, when you're attending the meeting, you always should attend the meeting on time. Okay, but we only write it on the paper in a traditional project on time. How many of us are going to the meeting on time? How many of us coming to the meeting, coming out of the meeting on time? How many of us are consistently documenting all the meeting outcome? How many of us following that action items? Right? We keep on going for a meeting, but action items we never track. Right? Every meeting we start fresh, we end fresh, and then we close it. Next meeting start fresh. Yeah. Again another action item, we close it. But in a traditional, in the agile project, it will not be like that actually. You will also follow the process consistently. But before following the process, you check yourself, are you really going to follow the process? Moment you start doing the process consistently. You got it what I'm saying? It is not that now I will give the sign off, next day I will not give the sign off. Today I will create the documentation, I will not create. Today I will give the timesheet entry, tomorrow I will not do it. There's no such thing at all. It's like a train. Yeah. It goes in a constant speed. That is what the meaning of the consistently. Yeah. So please understand, if you start participating in a retrospective meeting, everybody consistently participate in the retrospective meeting. So everything happens in a kind of a rhythmic order. That is what the meaning of consistency. So first one is transparency. Next one is what? Consistency. It's like in a software environment, it may be looking a new word, but in other projects and all, right, manufacturing. In fact, the word agile came from the manufacturing industry. I know that it's like a machine, right? Machine produces output, yeah, in a periodic interval, correct? Same way here also, and each and every iteration we create an output in a periodic interval. Yeah, the consistency is being maintained like that. And the third one is what? Why a lot of people goes for agile? Continuous feedback. Feedback ensures that we learn from the mistake. But in a traditional project, we get the feedback at what time? Feedback from the customer. Yeah, Surya?
In normally this traditional, we get feedback at the end of the project.
Yes, you are right. Only at the end of the project. Hey, what about other people? Are you all good, or you are not able to understand? You're not at all taking other people. Only few set of people are talking. Hello. We have 18 people are here. Only few people are talking. What about others? Any question? Srinivasan. Is it fine with you? Nilakandan.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We are listening.
Goldie. Vijay Anand, Vishwa. Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm keep talking.
Good. Good. So ask any questions wherever you have. Okay. And one more thing also, I usually set the ground rule, and there is no Q&A for this class.
Okay.
Not that 10 to 1 I will take it, or 6:30 to 10:30, 10 o'clock Q&A. There is no such thing. Whenever you have any doubt, please stop me then and there. Yeah.
Sure.
Because Agile consists of lot of concepts. Okay. That concepts you need to be very clear in an Agile project. Okay. And the third one is the feedback. So the feedback in the sense actually, it's a very important thing as far as even in the traditional project also, feedback is very important. Yeah. So feedback should be welcomed. Feedback in the sense anybody can give the feedback in an agile projects. Yeah. So please understand, feedback is given in terms of the process. Feedback is given in terms of the people. Feedback is given in terms of the products. Continuously in an agile project, the feedback keeps on coming. Yeah. So that is why in an agile project we have something called we have this one called appraisal, right? In an agile project, we get the 360-degree appraisal. At the end of every sprint, we ask the feedback. How that person, how Neelakandan performed, how Vishwa performed, how X performed, like that, how the product delivered everything. The customer will keep on. It is not that at the end of the year, right? I want to give a low rating to Neelakandan because, and then I will give a low rating. I will justify my rating, right? But here it is not like that. You are keeping on getting a consistently and continuous feedback from everybody. When I say feedback, that include criticism. People critique you. Please understand. It is not that people always only appreciate you. Like both red, green, amber, both all the things will be discussed. And based on the green, okay, you need to continuously build up on your green. Yeah. Red trying to avoid. Right. Yellow try to move quickly back to. Thereby the continuous improvement is also happening. Right. That's a continuous feedback mechanism that help us to create a better product every sprint, every iteration. Yeah. And one more thing also, I'm introducing here one more terminology. In Agile project, the requirements are called as stories. We'll deep dive into later point of time. In Agile projects, that we will not call the requirement as a requirement. We'll use the terminology called as stories. That you need to keep in mind. Yeah. And please understand, Agile project also instills courage. But tell me, courage to whom? Courage to whom? Why courage? Any guess?
To do right things.
To do right thing, okay.
To improve, to have an improvement time by time.
Okay.
Further improvement. Further improvements.
Further improvements, okay. How it is further improvement related to courage?
Courage to adapt.
Courage to open up, right? Courage to do the risky, courage to take a risk. Yeah. So everything is, you need to, you see, there is no need to shy away from things. Even if the customer do something wrong in an Agile project, you need to open up, say that, hey, this is what is going wrong. Yeah. So particularly why it is courage is very important for the developer, right? If you don't know something, you need to raise your voice and ask, hey, I don't know. I have, see, this particular part I'm not able to understand. You should have a courage to raise the test issue. Or this particular part, I feel that this is not the right way to do. You should have a courage. Just because it comes from the customer. In a traditional project, what will happen? We see customer as a god. Whatever customer say, we don't have courage to talk against him. A customer say do it, we will always do. A customer say don't do it, we will not do it. Okay, customer say you are good, yes, we are good. Customer say you are bad, yes, we are bad. So what I'm trying to tell you, we don't even have a courage to talk something against the customer or against any other stakeholder. It's not a question of against. You are not even opening it up. That opportunity itself is not there in a traditional project. But here, please understand, when anybody is not performing the duty, everybody else can question. So you have the rights to raise the against the Scrum Master. Of course, we will talk about the role of the Scrum Master later. And you have the courage to raise against the product owner, the customer. You have the courage to talk about something else, the procedure not being followed properly. So that courage is very, very important in an Agile projects. Because of that also, we are moving away from traditional to Agile projects. Yeah. So you need to call it out when the Scrum Master is not performing the duty. You need to call it out when somebody else, team members are not performing the duty, including the product manager, product owner. Yeah. So you should have the courage. And you see that next one, simplicity. What is simplicity? You know what is the definition of simplicity? Listen here carefully. Simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Let me repeat. What is the meaning of simplicity? I'll repeat. Simplicity.
Sir, your voice is getting low sometimes.
Okay. 1 minute. I will come very close. Is it clear now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay now.
Okay.
Thank you.
Simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. What is the meaning of this? Vishwa, what is the meaning of this?
Sorry, I was on mute. So So you can find the things whatever is missing. That is something you can accept and you can find and accept whatever is missing.
Okay. Then what is the meaning of maximizing the amount of work not done? Because simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. What is the meaning of that?
So keeping a track on what is remaining.
Okay. Anything else?
Reducing the amount of work required to achieve the goals.
So what do you mean by maximizing the amount of work?
In the beginning, we are talking about the like 45% we are not going to do right. This is what I think we'll explain to them that it is not required and will not do that.
Okay. Anything else? Vijay Anand? Yeah.
We can keep on prioritizing.
Prioritizing. Okay. See, listen here carefully. Simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. When I say maximizing the amount of work not done, keep the thing is very simple, right? For example, right, you are using a Google map. Okay. First, let's say that I'm traveling from Chennai to Bangalore. Maybe I can just draw it at the India level. Where is Chennai and where is Bangalore? Okay. Now I know that Chennai is here, Bangalore is here. Now what I need to do, I need to focus on the two states, no, India, Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. Is that clear? Now I see that okay. Now I'm traveling from Chennai to Bangalore. Now you see this is the distance. Now when I go more focus on Chennai and Bangalore and the route between Chennai to Bangalore, everything will become simple for me. You are able to understand what I'm talking? So which route I'm traveling it out, whether I'm turning. So let's say that you're starting in the car. Actually, you put a Google map, so it will tell you no, turn left, and then you go travel 1 kilometer straight, and then after 1 kilometer you need to turn right, then take the route, and then travel 5 kilometers straight. Now NH5 no route has come. Now you say take on the main road like that, right? So what I'm trying to tell you, if you simplify your steps very clearly, then it's very easy for you to follow. That is called as simplicity. So you keep something at the complex level, things will not work out. I hope you are able to understand this, right? You need to divide, make everything very simple and understandable way. Then everything is easy. That is what Agile says, that don't keep anything complex, make it simple. Divide it into simple. Don't keep anything at the high level, complex level. That is called as simplicity. So the simplicity means what? Maximizing the amount of work not done. So break the work into a smaller, manageable way. In fact, in traditional project also we have something called work breakdown structure. Hope you are able to.
In work breakdown structure, there are a lot of activities are breakdown into smaller activities into
Yes.
small.
That is also
small
another way
pieces.
of simplicity. Here,
Yeah.
here also the work is divided. So simple, it has gone to another way. Okay, well, defining about story, we'll talk about it. And stories or the requirements are in a story, the requirements are written in a form of a postal card. That much of simple. You know, postal card, right? The 1920s to 2000 kid may not know what is postal card, right? In those days, actually, we used to send a postal card to send a letter, right? And that postal card size, actually, you'll write the requirement itself. So it's not that in a pages and pages of the requirement. You need to divide very simple. Yeah, that is called as what? Simplicity. So simplicity is the art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Break the work very simple. Okay. Now we see that we talk about the consistency, right? Now the another one is sustainability. What is sustainability? What is the difference between a consistency and sustainability? What is sustain?
Sustainability is nothing but if any hurdles or of any some difficulties are arising in the execution, that has to be get absorbed, and we can do that work. That is called a sustainable.
Sustainability, correct. For example, let's talk about the same example, right? I try to travel from Chennai to Bangalore. Let's say my average car speed is 50 kilometers per hour. Yeah. So that means what? See, I can even stop in a toll gate for 1 hour also, but still I need to maintain the consistency and I need to be able to sustain the timeline. You are able to understand this? So any hurdles that comes out to me, yes, I will handle the hurdles. Then still I will maintain the sustainability. Maybe in once I stop it for half an hour, I will try to drive the car very fast and then I will try to sustain. So that same thing is applicable in an agile project also. The sustainability is very, very important, because in a traditional project, what will happen in the beginning of the project, we will work very hard because it's a new. Once you settle it, you will work very slow. Then at the end of the project, you know what we'll do? We'll try to keep up the momentum. Correct? No? That is how we execute a traditional project. All of you understand and agree?
Yes. Yeah,
But
yeah.
in agile project, every sprint, every iteration, you need to keep on sustaining the deliverable. So the moment you start driving your car 50 kilometers per hour, you need to drive 50 kilometers per hour consistently. Sustainable. The speed should be sustained. That is very, very important in an agile projects. Then next one is truth. Okay, what is the difference between a transparency and truth? What is the difference between a transparency and truth?
Transparency means by our work we are showing the truthness, but truth means something we are delivering to people directly.
Mm-hmm.
Transparency is to being open for all, and truth is basically a faithfulness, that even if something got failed, that it should be clearly talk it to the all stakeholders that it's got failed. It's kind of a faithfulness.
Okay. Anything else?
100% following the
Okay, so we need to be truthful in all our communications. Is that clear? We need to be truthful in all our communications. We also need to understand that, see that second thing, be aware when we leave out inconvenient truths in order to make ourselves, our team look better than we deserve. You are able to understand this? Thereby we confuse between a transparency and truth. What do you mean by inconvenient truth? What is inconvenient truth?
The thing which you are talking about someone else, which they don't like, but the statement is itself true. So this kind of, you are criticizing someone, but the facts are true.
See, for example, in order to put our team in the high level, we are trying to give some inconvenient truth. That means they're not talking it's a false statement, but yes, that also you need to be very careful here. So truth means it's here agile experts at 100% truth. Is that clear?
Facts.
Yeah,
Only
facts. Yeah, in all our communication. The next one is focus. What do you mean by focus? Agile says that you need to 100% focus on whatever you do. In a traditional project also, we talk about the critical path. You remember? We need to continuously focus on the critical path we used to talk. Yeah. But in Agile, you know what is critical path? Every iteration is a critical path here. Every iteration or every sprint is a critical path. Please understand, this is very, very important. There you need to continuously focus is not only the work done actually, you also should have an eye on the, you also should be able to separate the issues, impediments and hurdles. Okay, what is impediment? What do you mean by impediment? What is impediment?
Obstruction.
Okay, any example? Any example of that?
Remove the obstructions between the teams.
Any example? See, for example, let's say that I am doing a work after Narendra does some task. Okay, task 2 to be done by Mowli, task 1 needs to be done by Narendra. Please understand very importantly, if Narendra takes a lot of time to finish the task 1, Mowli cannot take the task 2. Hope you are able to understand what I'm talking. Yeah?
Yes.
Okay, so please understand that is very, very important. I also need to continuously focus on what happened before, what happened after. And that is also focus. So we need to understand, we need to focus not only on the progress of the project, we also continuously focus on what is the hurdle that is going to come also. That will help me to execute the projects in a better way. Yeah. So we need to clearly have identify the issue, hurdles, and impediment, and continuous focus on it, so that we move away from all those things. That way, the project can move on. So focus does not mean that focusing on the progress alone. Yeah. So we also need to exclude whatever the distractions that comes on our way. We need to continuously focus on that also. So because of this, a lot of people goes for Agile. Okay. Now we see this. So what is the advantage? Okay. Now I follow the Agile. One of the recent survey from Dr. Dobbs Agile community. Okay. Dr. Dobbs Agile community says that you see that productivity is very, very high while you're executing an Agile project. How will you measure the productivity? All of you? Vijay Anand, how will you measure the productivity?
Proactive approach.
Based on the deliverables.
Okay. You know that in office, right? We are 9 hours in an office. How many our office hours are productive really?
Based upon performance. Performance will based upon performance will measure the productivity.
Correct.
The
I'm asking
productivity,
in office.
yeah,
So
it is, yeah, whatever the done, whatever the deliverables done during the period is productivity. So maybe 9 hours we only delivered for 6 hours. So that is the productivity.
So
okay.
basically,
See, my question is something different, right? You are in an office for 9 hours. How many of an hour will be productive?
6 hours.
Okay, I'm going to say 6 hours. What about you, Narendra, Vishwa?
it is basically 50% because whatever your total output, right, which is divided by to your total input is basically your productivity.
Interesting. I have not heard that formula. Okay. Yeah.
Maybe 4 hours fully active. 2 hours.
Trend says that it is only 2 to 3 hours, sir.
Yeah.
Okay. That is what the reality is all about. Real productivity for anybody. It includes you, it includes me, it includes CEO of the organization also. Yeah. So it is 2 to 3 hours is what it says. That means what? You are really working only for 3 hours in an office, remaining 6 hours, you just calculate it, no? See, you go for a lunch break. How many hours you are taking for lunch break? Average actual lunch break is 1 hour. You just gauge yourself how many hours you are taking.
Normally it is 1.5 hours, sir.
See, some people even take 2 hours. Okay, then coffee break is usually 15 minutes, let's say in the morning. But how many hours you are taking for a coffee break?
That is also more than half hours.
In the morning, and then 3 o'clock and then 5 o'clock. Yeah, 3 times a break. You see that, no? I hope you are able to understand this, right? But still nothing wrong. I'm not saying that you are wrong or right and all. Okay, but actually we are working only for 3 hours productively. Remaining 6 hours we are trying to make up. So that 3 hours is not continuous. That is what is very important, right? Maybe you just observe yourself. Even now in the COVID-19 in the morning you will be very active. Let's say 9 to 10, 9 to 11. Okay. After that your productivity will go down. Then maybe in the evening, late evening, your productivity will go because you are leaving the office, right? That's what it is. Now people say that one of the surveys says that your productivity is very high in the COVID-19 situation in work from home, but everybody thought it will be a reverse way around. People will not work from home properly. Yeah. So can you guess why the productivity has gone up like that in a COVID-19 situation? Goldie? Sundar, Srini?
All are work from home.
Yeah, work from home is fine. But why the productivity is gone up in the work from home? That's the question.
Can't take many breaks like office.
Oh, okay.
Focus is on, focus is on deliverable.
Focus on
There's no
deliverable.
traveling.
Flexibility,
Distraction.
user are getting flexibility.
Okay, flexibility gives you
So
productivity.
many
Okay,
distractions.
no distraction. But
There is no
when you're working,
travel.
Also, there is
from
no
home,
monitoring. Nobody is monitoring, so freely we can work.
thereby productivity improve, isn't it? Okay. See, there are so many reasons. Okay, but definitely you'll know that maybe once the COVID situation gets over, you know that we all more productive in a COVID-19 situation than in an office environment. That's a reality, right? But of course, we will see that same way while you're working in an agile project, you will be more productive. See, whatever you told, no, you are very transparent, you are open, right? And what I say, you follow the ceremony, you just like that. In a COVID-19 situation, what will happen? Okay, you come to the office, you will come to the room, your room office, yeah. So you say that you have only fixed break, no, 11 o'clock. You cannot even go out. You cannot step out of your home. Yeah, you have no other option also, right? And okay, even the break is provided. You're also very flexible. Please understand that everything is added in an agile environment. In agile environment, you are very flexible. Yeah, we are very open. You are very truthful. Because of all these things, right? One of the trends says that the productivity got improved by how much? More than 50%. It says that 82% of agile project says that the productivity is higher. 82%. You see the number. Very important. 82% does not mean that out of 9 hours I'm telling you. Okay. And 82% means normally if your productive hours is 3 hours, in an agile project, the productivity is how many hours? 82% more. Is that clear, all of you? But however, in some project, the much lower people are telling, right? Survey. Can you guess why the people feel that productivity is lower? Hello?
Because there is no active
Yeah.
participant.
The proper tool sets are not available, kind of.
There is no collaboration between the team.
Exactly. Right? As Suresh was telling. So whatever you discuss, right, there is no collaboration. You are not following agile as an agile. See, for the namesake, you call something as an agile, but you are not really agile, then it will fail. Hope you are able to understand this. Yeah. And that is why some 1%, 4%, 13% of people are telling the productivity is lower. Even though majority of the people tell that it is somewhat higher or much higher, 82% of the people. Yeah. Same thing with the quality, same thing with the cost, same thing with the stakeholder satisfaction. It all improved multifold time. That is as per the survey. Yeah. So please understand, cost of the system development is reduced by 37%. So a lot of people think that no cost will be reduced by 10% or say for example in a traditional project it takes 100 rupees. Can I execute the agile project with 10 rupees? The answer is no. I hope you are able to understand this, right? It cost will get reduced for the production because your productivity goes up. But that too, you see the proportionately it is not getting reduced. But the productivity got improved by 82%. The cost got reduced only by how much? 37 or 40%. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Of course, the quality obviously will improve because of the frequent feedback. You got it? So every iteration, the customer will give the feedback on whatever is being delivered. So since because you have multiple opportunity to repair it, defect, removing the defect out and fine tune it, the improvement continuously happening. And because of that, the quality also keeps on increasing. And the stakeholder satisfaction also increase, including the team member. Very important. A lot of people say, hey, Moli, agile project means you're complete stress, because every 2 months you are delivering it. That means you are working at the peak. But actually, it is not so. If you're working in an agile project, you will know, right? Maybe you're driving a car, right? In the beginning of the while you learn to drive the car, no, you will feel yourself as a very much stress because you will not know what is accelerator, what is brake, what is clutch. Yeah. And the first gear, second gear, third gear, and all. Some people even look into the gear, then change the gear. Yeah, I'm talking about in the beginning. Yeah, once you learn what will happen, you drive even 100 kilometers fast by doing all these things. No, same accelerator, same brake, same clutch nowadays, right? You drive 100 kilometers per hour. but you with ease you are driving it. Why? How? Any guess?
By practicing on more.
By practicing. Okay. What else? One is practice. Another one? Hey, is it a tough question or what? I'm not asking you any question on Agile. Yeah? I'm talking about driving a car. All of you can participate. Why you don't feel stress nowadays? In the beginning of the year, no? While you're learning the car, it was very stressful for you. Even if one person is crossing the road, let's say 200 meter away, you'll feel we used to feel stress in the beginning, right? But not now. Why?
Confidence level.
Practice.
Confidence level, practice. Yeah.
Practice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then anything else? Only is it because of the
Then you know getting used to the all functionality because
You'll be
kind
more
of a
comfortable.
gear. Yeah.
comfortable? See, that is what is
Yeah.
very important. Okay. It comes by practice. It also comes. You are getting into a comfort zone. Is that clear?
Yes.
Right. So it's not that no. In the beginning, you are very stressed. Does not mean that stress will continue because you continuously apply it. You get into comfort zone, then everything will be very smoothful for you. Same thing will happen in
Learn
Agile
curve.
project. Yes, learning curve. Once you learn, things will be easy. Same thing in an Agile project also, because of all these things, right? Stakeholders, team member satisfaction will get increased. And you will also be happy. Please understand, that's very important, no? Yeah. It will be like an effortless driving, and you will also be satisfied because you are driving very fast, right? Very smoothly you are driving the car. Same way in Agile project also, right? In the beginning, yes, there is a risk, there is a hurdle, there is a problem, there is an unknown. Yeah, once you learn, once you know how to drive it, then once you pick it up, that's it. The productivity and stakeholder satisfaction increases by 78%. Please understand, including team members. So team members, if you are working in an Agile project, right? I don't know how many of you are working already in Agile project. Maybe in the beginning it will be stressful for you. As you move on, it will be like a rituals. All right? Any of you working in an Agile project already?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Stress was there in the early, right? In the beginning, not
Yeah.
now. Right? As you move on, you got settling. Yeah. Same thing. So please understand another survey, right? It is called as Cutter Consortium Survey. Even they did it in 2017 also. There was no change in that number. Almost same. Project cost also reduced. Yeah. Now consortium survey says that this becomes 61% cheaper. Yeah. And 24% faster in delivery, and 39% less staff, and 83% less defect. These are all the advantages of Agile as per the Cutter Consortium survey that happened in the year 2007. So with the Agile, we are getting a lot of benefit. Now, Agile has been used by what are the companies? Yeah, you know that Tata, TCS uses Agile, Google uses Agile, Microsoft uses Agile. Yeah, Google and who else? Philips uses Agile, IBM uses Agile. Yeah, Infosys uses Agile. You see that these are all the very famous names. John Deere, JD uses Agile. Yeah, and who else? LexisNexis, Cellen, they use Agile. And like this, nowadays, lot of customers are moving towards Agile. Yeah, so that is why you are all here to learn about Agile. Okay, please go on mute, all of you. All of you, please go on mute. Okay, thank you. So Agile has been used for a lot of things, right? Even for a commercial software, you use it. A lot of people ask me a question: is a Mauli Agile is being used only for software development? The answer is no, right? Nowadays, Agile is also being used for a lot of other things also. But but Agile is very famous because the terminology is being used and got inherited from inherited the term Agile got inherited from the manufacturing industry, right? So but Agile became very famous because of the software industry adopting it. Yeah. So Agile is being used in multiple purpose, right? Video game development, website development, mobile phone development, right? In lot of fixed breed project, in-house development, commercial softwares, like this, everywhere Agile is being used. So net, what are the key characteristics of Agile? What you learn now? Agile is iterative and incremental, collaborative fashion, and adaptive. Yeah, Agile requires just in ceremony, less documentation. So big upfront design is not always required, right? And a big architecture is not required, but architecture will be followed at the end. Yeah. So Agile is not against documentation. Use documentation to complement communication, not to replace it. See, you know, in a traditional project, instead of documenting it, so for example, in those days, I'm talking about 5 years before, people used to talk to the customer and they write the documentation in a Word document. Nowadays, while you're talking itself, you can videograph and audiograph, correct? Nowadays, some projects I have seen that they're following that also, right? Even if a videograph is not allowed, at least audio, no, you can record it. Thereby, you can run through the audio, right? So there is no need for documentation and all, right? Whenever it is required, you can go for a documentation. Yeah. Okay. So what will you do? Can you take some 10 minutes break now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir.
Yes.
And then we are deep diving into a concept called Agile Manifesto. If you remember, we started the class using Agile Manifesto, correct? Now we are going to deep dive into Agile Manifesto. Now my laptop time is 8:30. At what time will come back?
8:45.
8:40.
Fine, absolutely. 8:45 is fine, but exact 8:45, not Indian time.
Yeah.
Huh? Come exactly 8:45. Thank you. Hello team, I'm back. What about you?
Yes, sir.
Please type on the message, chat window if you are back. Okay, good. Okay, so if you remember, we started this class with a session on with an introduction to Agile Manifesto. I told you some 17 people, yeah, gathered together in a place called Utah, and then they coined this Agile Manifesto, right? This four thing is called as 4 values. So Agile Manifesto has a 4 values and 12 principles. So totally it is a 16 points. It's nothing but a 16 lines. Okay, if you visit the website agilemanifesto.org, you will understand more about it. Okay, so they say that these 4 values and 12 principles needs to be followed in all Agile projects in order to be called something as an Agile or some methodology as an Agile. Because tomorrow, as you move on, right, there may be a lot of other Agile methodologies, right? One new addition I told you, it's a SAFe, right? Previously it was Scrum was there, yeah. So SAFe methodology got added. So like this, there may be a number of other Agile methodologies that may get added. But however, they need to be following these 4 values and 10 principles. Then only it will be called as an Agile. Okay, it's not very difficult thing to follow, but we need to understand what is the difference. Yeah. The 4 values, first we will look into it. First one is called as working software over comprehensive documentation, right? The keyword here is over. After, see, it's like a left hand side and a right hand side kind of. So can you guess what is the meaning of working software over comprehensive documentation? Surya?
Yeah, working software can work on comprehensive documentation. Comprehensive documentation means it is minimum bare requirement documentation.
Okay. Anybody else? Why it is called over? Why it is called working software over? Why it is called working software over comprehensive documentation?
So the focus here is in Agile, right? It's more over on your product delivery than documenting something extensively.
Right. Okay. Any other answer? Left hand side over right hand side, or left versus left to over right. What is the meaning of that? What do you mean by left? What do you mean by over? What do you mean by right?
I think left hand side we are more focused about, and right hand side which is more in the waterfall we will focus on, but in left hand side we are more focused on the agile methodology.
Okay. See, okay. So the thing is, please understand, left is given more preference over the right. But however, right is also very important. Right is also right. Okay, but the more preference is given to the left. Yeah. So for example, working software over comprehensive documentation. So we need to give more importance to creating the product. Yeah. Rather than creating a multiple documentation. But however, the keyword over states that we are not denying or we are not degrading the importance of the documentation, right? But if it is required for the importance, if it is really required, then we need to do. Otherwise, better we not to do. Okay. So please understand the timeline, what you are creating, right? For creating a requirement documentation or a design document, high level design document, low level design, data structure, architecture design, test cases, test plan, and all those things, right? We can avoid, and then we can give the importance of creating the software. That is the meaning of working software over comprehensive documentation, right? So try to avoid doing the documentation, try to spend the time in the working software or the products. But however, please understand, we need to give more importance to what? Final products, working software. That's number one. Number two, you see this is very important. Individuals and interactions over process and tool. Okay, process is important, tools are important, but which is more important? The roles of each and every individuals and their interactions. So it's simply the meaning of the people versus process. People over process. So people are given more importance in an agile project over the process. Yeah. So yes, the process is very important. Yes, the tools are very important. In fact, will also discuss a lot of agile tools. Yeah. But however, more importance is given to what? Individual. The people are given more importance rather than the process. Third one is customer collaboration over contract negotiation. I hope you might have studied this in the PMBOK, right? I used to tell that always the execution of the project is nothing but the execution of the contract, right? So even there are a lot of people I know, there are a lot of organization for changing even the small thing and all, they'll start charging the customer like anything. Yeah, in the name of a contract, because the contract says that there is a change management process and this follows the change management process, and so you need to give like that. But here what is very important in an agile project, your collaboration with the customer is given more importance than contract, but does not mean that don't follow the contract. Yeah, yes, the contract is very important, following the contract is important, but more importance is given to what? Customer collaboration. So the meaning of this is collaboration over contract. And this fourth one is very, very important, responding to change over following a plan. Yes, but traditional project always follows a plan, correct? But here, Agile says that you need to respond to the change. As some of you are telling, right? I think one of you are telling what is Agile and as you change driven versus plan driven. Yeah, that is actually the meaning of this. So responding to the change is very important than following the plan. In fact, Agile follows a lot of plan. That's a different story. Yeah, we do a lot of planning in Agile. That's a different thing. But however, more importance than following a plan, we are giving more importance to respond to the changing environment of the people, responding to the changes. So these are all the 4 Agile values. All right. Any question on this? Agile values, 4 Agile values. Agile manifesto, 4 values. In fact, the 12 principles are also derived from the value, because these 4 values are very, very important. And tomorrow, anybody is following an agile methodology, right? Or anybody creating any new agile methodology, they must follow this agile manifesto. Team, any question? No question? Okay, good. Let's move on. I told you there are 12 principles, right? Based on the 4 values, and there are 12 principles also. Okay, so we, each one of us, right, being an agile practitioner, should also follow these 12 principles. See this as I told you, these 12 principles are also derived from the 4 values only. See the first one. Our highest priority is to satisfy the customer through early and continuous delivery of valuable software. So what is very important here? We need to give continuous delivery of valuable software. What do you mean by continuous delivery of valuable software? It is not that no one software, right? One delivery we are giving it in 1 week. Another one is 2 weeks. Another one is 3 weeks. Another one is 6 weeks, like that. No, it should be continuous delivery of valuable software. In fact, each and every one of the word is very important. Our highest priority is satisfy the customer. How will you satisfy the customer? Through early, yes, you need to give it early, and continuously you need to deliver. What you need to deliver? Valuable software. Yeah. And next one is welcome changing requirements even late in the development. Change is always allowed to the customer. Yeah. So agile process harness change for the customer's competitive advantage. So why the customer is asking for a change? Because at the end of the day, this product should meet the, and it should come and beat the competitor, correct? So that way we are actually accommodate a change, right? And the third one is deliver working software frequently from a couple of weeks to a couple of months with a preference to the shorter time scale. That means 2 weeks to 4 weeks we say, right? It say that couple of weeks to couple of months also you can go, but always you need to prefer what? Shorter time scale. Okay, this is the third principle of Agile Manifesto. All right. Next one is business people, that is a customer and developer must work together. It's not only question of must work together. When they need to work, how long? Daily throughout the project. But in a traditional project, what will happen? Customer is not considered as a part of the team. Correct? The customer is involved or the end user is involved only at the end of the project. Here, the customer's involvement is mandated in an agile project. They need to do it. They must work together. They must work daily also throughout the projects. And next one is you need to build projects around motivated individual. You remember people versus process? You need to build projects around motivated individuals. So we need to give them the environment and support they need and trust them to get the job done. You need to give them the environment and support, right? So you always need to build projects around motivated individuals. And next one is the most and efficient, effective method of conveying information to and within a development team is face-to-face communication. You know, nowadays we are moving towards giving a face-to-face conversation, correct? But when you are working in an office environment, what do you do? Some of you are asking, right? Why are you developing it for communication? And why most of our communication happens through email in a traditional projects. Yeah, but Agile says that which is very important. Face-to-face conversation is very, very important, and that is also more efficient. So how will you measure the progress of the project in a traditional project? Surya?
In traditional projects, normally by when the daily progress, we are updating the daily progress. Throughout that, we can measure how much work is done in percentage in the in planning stage.
So how much work is done? Yeah, that is the
Comparing with
primary
plan.
measure.
In percentage, yeah.
How much work, how much task is completed? Based on that, we are
Yeah.
measuring the progress of the project in a
In a
traditional project.
traditional.
But here, how many tasks you do, how many work you do, how much of the requirement completed is not a matter. What is the measure of the success?
Deliverable.
Deliverable. How much of working software you are delivering? So working software is the primary measure of the progress. Yeah. And next one is Agile process promote sustainable development. The sponsors, development, end users should be able to maintain a constant pace. This is very important. As I told you, you driving a car, right? You need to maintain the constant speed. That is very important. And one more thing also, continuous attention is given to the technical excellence. It's not that now we are moving away. If you remember the quality product what you discussed, yeah, the definition of Agile also. So continuous importance is given to the technical excellence. Yeah, and simplicity. If you remember the word simplicity, what you use? Simplicity is art of maximizing the amount of work not done. Yeah, so the simplicity is very, very important. So Agile project, you need to make it very simple. You should not make it as a very complex thing. Yeah, and the best architecture, requirement, and design emerge from self-organizing team. Self-organizing team, right? So that is what is very important. What do you mean by self-organizing team? Team, any guess?
A cross-functional team, they can able to handle multiple tasks.
Okay.
Each person is responsible for all the activities, not selected.
Okay. Any other? What do you mean by self-organizing team?
There is no team need to direct. Team lead, sorry.
Very important. Okay. So the thing is, the planning, execution, monitoring, controlling is all done by the team. Planning, execution, monitoring, controlling, all done by the team. There is no need for
No
an
dependency.
no dependency, right? And because see, at the end of the day, even in a traditional project also, right? So at the end of the day, we need to create the product. Here, what happened? The customer is there. Customer gives you the simple requirement, and then you create a simple product, and then you are giving to the customer. That is the meaning of the self-organizing team, right? And last but not the least, the 12th principle says that at regular interval, the team reflects on how to become more effective, then tunes and adjusts its behavior accordingly. As I told you, there is no hard and fast rule. Yeah, even if you follow the Scrum methodology, it is not necessarily you need to follow whatever is stated there in 100%. Yeah, what works for you, you need to fine tune and you need to follow. So these are all the 4 values and 12 principles that must be followed in any Agile projects. Okay, team, any questions on here? See, so far we're talking about only about general Agile, right? Maybe once you know to the Scrum, we will deep dive this further, this concept further. Okay, so now you see this. This is what's that empirical versus defined process. If you look into this, this is a one slide summary for whatever we discussed in the morning. Okay, if please understand, very simple project, right? The technology is very simple and the requirement is very simple, right? So which one you will follow? Traditional project or Agile projects?
Agile.
Agile project.
Okay, any other answer? Please understand, if the requirement is so simple and the requirement is very clear and the technology is very clear, in this spectrum, you must follow the traditional projects. Please keep that in mind. Lot of Agile projects fail because in this spectrum, if you take Agile project, continuous improvement is not possible. Hope you are able to understand what I'm talking. Yeah. If everything is clear, there is no continuous improvement, no? You are able to understand what I'm talking, all of you?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Then it's a simple project here need to be executed only using traditional methodology. The project which are there in the somewhat complicated and complex, that is what Agile comes into picture.
Okay.
So Agile works in these two layers, complicated
and
then complex. Okay. So in the complicated, right? Complicated also can be follow the traditional also. Complicated can also be in Agile also. Yeah. But definitely in complex, we need to follow, we must follow Agile. So simple is the candidate for traditional projects. Complex is the candidate for an Agile project. So in between, okay, it's your call, right? Because we cannot draw a clear-cut line. Okay, this is means this means that, like that. There are somewhat complicated. We can also be executed using simple. We can also move towards the Agile layer. But you see that there is a fourth layer that is called as a anarchy layer. What kind of methodology will work here? This is far from agreement in terms of the requirement, far from certainty in terms of the technology. So here, what type of methodology will be useful? Sundar, Neelakandan, Siri, Kirtana.
Agile.
Okay, any other answer?
Hybrid.
Traditional.
Hybrid, Agile. Okay, any other answer? Please understand here, no methodology will helpful for you. There are a lot of projects now, this in this area also getting executed as an Agile, then Agile will fail, because this is what I told you, right? The customer is changing total disorder, and the customer is changing the requirement every day, every hour. Yeah, Agile cannot be executed. Is that clear what I'm trying to? Agile is somewhat away from the simple. Agile is some way away from the anarchy. Here in this space, see, if you execute the project in anarchy space also, Agile project will fail. If you execute the project in simple space also, the project will fail. So what I'm trying to tell you, all the projects are not the candidate for Agile. Nowadays, you know what happens? The customer will giving the requirement, RFP itself, they're saying that I want to execute the project using Agile. Yeah, because our customer knows all the value. So, but without understanding it, sometimes a very simple project is given as an Agile. That is also leads to failure. Sometimes very highly complex project also given as an Agile. That also will leads to failure. So please understand, in those areas, Agile project also will fail. So you need to understand, and accordingly you need to choose the candidate for the project candidate for Agile projects. So just because the customer is asking a project to be executed using Agile, if we execute it wrong candidate, Agile will fail. Nowadays, okay, even a lot of projects are failing in Agile because of this problem, wrong candidate. Is it clear, all of you? So choosing the right methodology is very important. So Agile is not a solution for all your problems. Yeah, there are some problems will get carry forwarded. Yeah, but in the anarchy space, better not to do any methodology. No other methodology will helpful. Even if you do waterfall also will fail. If you do Agile also will fail here. So this spectrum is very important. Okay, any questions here, team?
Sir, can you give any examples?
For what?
And it's simply anarchy.
Okay, simple project is right. Let's say that I want to construct a bridge in a particular place of in Chennai or Bangalore. Yeah. So it is a very simple project, right? With respect to the construction engineering work is concerned, it is a simple project. Okay. Assuming the project comes to L&T info, L&T construction. So L&T construction has constructed a multiple big bridge, right? Multiple complex bridge and all. Yeah. So this is very simple. So there is no need for us to follow the Agile project here. Or let's say that somebody reaches out to you to create an website for you, one single HTML website. That's a very simple thing, no? Hope you are able to understand this. Yeah. There
Yes,
you
sir.
cannot use an Agile project, Agile methodology and all.
Yeah, thank you.
Somewhat when you move from the simple, then you are moving towards a complicated area and then complex. In this area only the Agile project. So there should be some kind of uncertainty in the requirement. Or in simply put it, the requirement should not be clear in while you are executing Agile. That's a shortcut rule. I'm not saying exactly, but that's what it is. The requirements are not clear, are completely clear, then only you should go for an Agile projects. Is it clear? So that uncertainty should be there. Otherwise, you cannot go for an Agile projects. All of you? Nilakandan, Kirtana, is it clear?
Yes, sir, it's clear.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
So what will you do? There are some agile methodologies, terminologies we need to know, understand it before we deep dive further. Okay. We'll go on deep dive each and every terminology now. Okay. 1 minute. So there is a tick. Yeah. So the first one we'll take it as time boxing. What is time boxing? Please understand, in an agile projects, each and every iteration is called as time boxing, right? So for example, I think I'll share the screen. 1 minute. I'll stop this. So I'm getting into the whiteboard. I hope you are able to see the whiteboard. Hello? Are you able to see the whiteboard?
Yes.
Yeah, it's visible.
Yeah, okay. So see that in agile projects, we have lots and lots of iteration. Okay, it will go like this. Let's call this is an iteration 1. Let's call this is an iteration 2. Let's call this is an iteration 3. Iteration 4. Okay, assuming it's all uniform size, even though I'm not drawing like that. Okay, so this is how it goes. And once iteration 1 is over, it goes to iteration 2. Once iteration 2 is over, it goes to iteration 3. When the iteration 3 is over, iteration 4. That is how the agile project getting executed. Okay. So I'm just calling this as iteration 1. And this is iteration 2. And this is iteration 3. Okay. Let's say that assuming you have only 4 iteration, that goes like this. So this is actually called a time boxing. So time boxing is, please understand, the time is always fixed in an agile project, as I told you already. So every 2 weeks, let's say I told you, no, 2 weeks to, it can go up to the month. That is what agile tells. Yeah. So here, what are you trying to do? I'm just fixing it is at 2 weeks. Okay. Now this 2 weeks is nothing but the time boxing for the whole project. So that means what? Every 2 weeks, I keep on need to deliver a particular product, small product to the customer. Small workable chunk of product. Yeah. So that is what is given here. And I need to keep on producing it. And I keep on updating it. I keep on improvising that as I move on. So that is called as time boxing. So why agile is called time boxing? Because the time period is fixed. Yeah. But which is not fixed in an agile project? Which is not fixed in agile projects?
Scope or requirements.
Yes. Okay. Please understand. Yes. In a traditional project, what will happen? It goes like this. See, in a traditional project, which one is fixed? The scope is fixed. Is that clear?
Yes.
And please understand, the cost and timeline, okay, is derived from the scope.
Yes.
All of you, is that clear?
Yeah.
This is what is called as triple constraint we call. What do you mean by scope is fixed? That means the requirement is fixed. Yeah. And based on that only we derived, and we are doing a lot of earned value management and other things. We also we learned a lot of schedule techniques, right? Activity, duration, forward pass, backward pass. Yeah. And this is actually called triple constraints in a traditional projects. But can you guess what is happening in an agile projects? Which is
Time
fixed?
is at the top.
Which is fixed? Which is not fixed?
Time is on top.
Okay. So here, please understand, one thing is very clear, the scope is not fixed. All of you? Scope is not fixed. The work is not fixed, right? That is what we talked about, the triangle, right? If you remember, just now we discussed, no? The scope is not fixed. But which one is fixed?
Timeline.
So please understand that timeline is fixed. Now first, that is why it's called as time boxing. How the timeline is fixed? Because every 2 weeks, now in this case, it's a 2 weeks I told you. Yeah. So every 2 weeks, I'm going to deliver something to the customer. And so the time is fixed. All of you, is that clear? But please understand, how many people will be working in an Agile project? Any guess? Agile says that in any project, Agile project, 7 plus or minus 3 people will be working in a team in a particular Agile project. You cannot execute an 100 team member project in an Agile project. Each and every team, how many people will be there? 7 plus or minus 3 people. Let's say that now in our case, I'm going with the 5 people project, 5 FT, full-time employees. Okay, the moment I know 5 full-time employee, right, throughout the iteration, then which one is also fixed?
Manpower is fixed.
Thereby,
Cost is
is
fixed.
also fixed, right? So if somebody asks me, hey Mouli, what is the cost of a single iteration? I know that there are 5 FTEs, 5 people. I know what is the cost of the 5 people. I know what is the duration, 2 weeks. So I can clearly say what is the timeline, what is the cost. All of you, is that clear? If my project consists of, let's say, 25 iteration, I know what is the timeline for the whole project. I know what is the cost of the whole project. All of you, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay, but what is not fixed? The scope is not fixed. What will you do in a traditional project for the scope? Please listen here carefully. In the beginning of every sprint, we have a ceremony called a sprint planning. In the beginning of every sprint, we have a ceremony called as sprint planning, or we have a ceremony called as iteration planning. In the iteration planning, we are trying to determine what work to be done in each and every sprint. Is that clear? So meaning in the beginning of each and every sprint or every iteration, I will ask my customer, hey customer, a product owner, give me. Now the customer name is called as a product owner. Going forward in an Agile methodology, in any Scrum, right, the customer name is called as product owner. Yeah, all of you. So with the product owner, I will ask, boss, give me what requirement I need to do, right? And then whatever the customer is giving me to do this actually, accordingly I will do. But tell me, how many hours I have it within the sprint? Roughly. Please understand there are 2 weeks are there. 2 weeks. Yeah, all of you. Each day, roughly 8. Of course, we will not plan 8 hours per day. Okay. So, but however, how many hours I will plan per day? Roughly in an Agile project?
8 hours.
Okay, 8 hours is in a traditional project, but here I will plan only 6 hours per day. Okay. So 6 hours, I'm talking about 1 FTE. So into 5 days are there in a week, and into there are 2 weeks. All of you are able to understand this? Yeah.
Yes.
If 1 resources are there, 60 hours hour. How many resources are in our case? 5 FTEs. 5 FTEs are how many hours? Roughly?
300. 300.
So 300 hours of work, what I will plan it. Is that clear? Once I have the requirement for 300 hours, then I will ask the customer, please stop, I have enough work. Okay. But please understand, the customer I told you, he will give something called a story, right? Requirements.
Mm-hmm.
I will convert the stories into task. And we will deep dive this further. Yeah. So customer will read the story. I will, when I say I means the team will convert the stories into task, and then they will estimate the task, right? Until they reach 300 hours in and around. The moment they reach 300 hours, that means you have enough work for the sprint or enough work for the iteration. All of you able to understand this? Any question on this?
Is this applicable for the construction project also?
Yeah, for all the projects we will do this.
Agile methodology?
Yes.
Okay.
Provided you can deliver something at the end of every period. If not,
Okay.
you cannot do it. For example, you in the Delhi, right, in the Commonwealth game, they constructed a big This one's stadium, right? They used Agile methodology there.
Okay.
A lot of things that you need to be delivered over a period of time, short period. Yeah. So every short period they will keep on delivering it.
Okay. Thanks.
So stories are divided into tasks. Then I will go to the next sprint, right? Third sprint and our third iteration I will deliver. So this principles of delivering is called as time boxing. So I boxed the time within that, and whatever is working on that, I will give it delivery. But now the next question comes, right? Is every stories are deliverable? That is what is very important thing. Okay, we'll discuss about this further. The every story, right, is a miniature of the requirements. Every story, right, is the miniature of the requirement I told you, right? Then each and every story can be delivered and tested. That is what the fundamental principle of the story also. Yeah, each and every story need to be delivered, executed, and tested. Otherwise, what will happen? The deliverable cannot be coming out, right? You'll be creating one more document at the end of each and every, iteration. The moment at the end of this, you need to create a product. Yeah, that product. In order for that to happen, please understand the stories needs to be really testable stories. Otherwise, you cannot give it. Okay. Now, any question on the time boxing team? So the first thing is in an Agile project, what we discussed is Agile project work in a time boxing principle. Hope it is clear. Any Agile project, any terminology, you talk about DDD, FTD, XP, TSTM, everything is having its own time, own sprint, own duration, own iteration. Is that clear, all of you? And we also discussed, next one is minimal viable product. Minimal viable product. Or another name for this, minimal marketable feature. Minimal marketable feature. That is very, very important. Please understand, when you are trying to give something to the customer, right? The customer need not give everything to the end user on the end of every 2 weeks, right? Customer can keep on accumulating. Let's say that at the end of every 3 months, he can give that to the end user. I hope you are able to understand. So there is a team, there is a customer, there is an end user. Team deliver every 2 weeks to the customer. Yeah. Customer will deliver to the end user every 3 months. That is called as what? Release. Hope it is clear, all of you. Release is nothing but what the customer gives to the end users. Is that clear? Iteration is nothing but, iteration or sprint is nothing but what the team give it to the customer. Is that clear, all of you? The terminology. So iteration happens once in 2 weeks, and the release can happen once in 1 month or 2 months or 3 months, like that. Is that clear? So usually this is in terms of the weeks, and this is measured in terms of the months or quarters. All of you, any question on this? No question. Okay, what is minimal viable product? Surya. Goldie. Okay, Surya,
The
go ahead.
smallest level of product that we can deliver, or the smallest the feature that we can deliver to the customer.
So now tell me, is minimal viable product is related to the sprint, closely related to sprint, or the release?
Release.
It's closely related to release. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course, it's also related to sprint, but closely related to release.
Release.
So we need to have a sprint planning. We also need to have a release planning. Right, Goldie? Got it?
Yeah, that's right.
Yes.
We need to plan this also. We need to plan that also. So your release, based on your release planning only, you will have a sprint planning. Correct, no?
Yeah.
Because what you deliver to the customer is very important. So based on the sprint planning, you also do something called a release planning. So you have a release planning, you have a sprint planning. Both are important. Yeah, this is what you will do in a traditional, in an Agile project. So this terminologies and all very, very important. And what we discussed, the triangle, right? The inverted triangle, right? What is the other name of inverted triangle? Any guess? Agile triangle. Just now we discussed, no? What is fixed? The cost and timeline is fixed. Yes. The scope is derived. The triangle is called as what? Agile triangle. Is that clear, all of you?
Yes.
Okay. Now tell me, while you're executing an Agile project, in a traditional project, we need a specialist. Yeah. When I say specialist, I need a architect. I need a business analyst. Yeah. I need a project manager. I need a project leader. I need a technical leader. That is called a specialist. But in an Agile project, do you need a specialist or generalist?
Generalist.
That is very, very important. Why generalist is very important? For example, let's say that I'm just taking an example. Okay, I'm interviewing Neelakandan. So okay, so Neelakandan is a very good technical person, but he is not good in a communication. Okay, but however, in a traditional project, I will choose Neelakandan because what is very important in a traditional project is a coder. Yeah, but whereas if the person is little bit of coding and little bit of communication, little bit of design, little bit of leadership, then that person is very much fit for an Agile projects. Because for Agile project, the team members are also continuously talking with whom? Talking with?
Every stakeholder.
Customers.
Yes,
Each other.
customer. So I need somebody who is capable. I know in a traditional project, right? Even in a software company also, people will not let you to talk to the customer on the first day of your job, right? Very few, some people even after 20 years also they don't talk to the customer. That's a different thing. But you will get an opportunity to talk to the customer only after a certain period of time. Yeah, you got it, all of you?
Yes, sir.
But in a traditional, in an Agile project, day in day out, you talk to the customer. So the customer involvement is very, very important in an tradition, in an Agile project. Yeah. What is the other name for the customer?
Stakeholder. Owner. Product owner.
In an Agile project, it is called as
Product client.
Yes. So the customer is involvement is very, very important. The customer should talk with the customer. I mean, team should talk with the customer on the daily basis. Yeah. If the team is not talking with the customer on daily basis, the project will fail. If the customer is not taking part in an Agile project, the project will fail.
Okay.
All of you, is that clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Now another thing is, in an Agile projects, we also called the requirement as, I told you it's a story, right? Now we are deep diving further. The requirements or stories are written in a place in an Excel sheet called as backlogs. Okay, backlog is nothing but the storage of requirements. So where the customer is storing the requirements? Where is the customer storing the requirement? Backlogs. Okay, this is the Agile terminology. Okay. Now please understand the whole project, the requirement is called as product backlog. What is product backlog? The whole project requirement is called as product backlog. Then what happened as you move on? Product backlogs are divided into, any guess? We already know. Release backlog. Yeah, that means if you have 10 releases, you have 10 release backlogs. Is that clear?
Okay.
So it will be divided into, let's say I'll just put it release backlog 1, release backlog 2, like that it will go. So product backlogs are divided into release
backlog.
backlogs. Release backlogs are divided into, any guess?
Sprint backlog.
That is called as sprint backlogs. So you have a multiple sprints, you have a multiple backlog. So I'll just put backlog 1 dot dot dot. That's how it goes. So you take a release 1 backlog, then you divide it into sprint backlog 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10. Assuming that that release has 10 sprints. All of you, you're able to follow this?
Yes. Yes.
Any question? Any question on this? So product backlog is divided into multiple release backlog, and each and every release backlog are divided into sprint backlog. Any question? And please understand, I told you that release backlog is the requirement is in the form of a story, right?
Yes.
You remember? The stories are written only here.
Oh.
Okay. And please understand, the requirements at the high level in an agile projects are called as epics.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And epics are divided into, in a
Stories.
release backlog is called as
Stories.
futures.
Okay.
Futures. Yeah. So futures are divided into, all of you, futures are divided into
Stories.
stories. So you need to understand this. So epics are divided into futures, and futures are divided into
Stories.
Futures or futures? Futures. FU.
Pardon?
It is futures or FUTURES.
Oh,
Right?
okay, spelling wrong, right? FEA, right?
Right.
Okay, yeah, it's FEA.
Features.
Yeah. So epics are divided into futures, and futures are divided into stories. But please understand, even though this is the hierarchy, the product backlog will also have an epic, feature, and story. Release backlog will also have a epic, features, and story. Sprint backlog will always have a story. Hope you are able to understand this.
Okay.
Sprint backlog means you are going to do the work, so it will be at the miniature level.
Okay.
It will always have a story. Okay. So product backlog will have, usually will be in epic, but epics can be divided into futures. Futures can be divided into story. Everything can be there in the product backlog. Yeah.
Yes.
Release backlog also will have an epic, features, and story. But sprint backlog means you are going to do the sprint, so you will always have a stories. Yes, only stories. Stories are the minute level.
Okay.
Is that clear, all of you?
Yes, sir.
So backlog are called the requirements. So okay, now tell me, who is maintaining the backlog? Who maintains the backlog?
Who maintains the backlog?
Customer.
Oh, Ajay.
What is the name of the customer?
Product owner. Product owner.
Product owner. Please understand, the product owner maintains the backlog. Right? Who prioritizes the backlog? Product owner. Yeah. So please understand the product backlog and release backlog and sprint backlog. I mean, a customer can keeps on adding it, deleting it, modifying it. Is it clear? But once it is implemented, the stories are implemented, it will come in the form of what? When the stories are implemented, it will be coming as a part of
Product backlog.
Deliverable.
Deliverable. Now deliverable is called as here. That is called as products.
All products. Final
Is that clear? That, so what will happen? I will keep on defining a product 1, product 2, product 3, product 4 like that, and then finally I will create the product. But the cycle keeps on going. Is that clear, all of you? It is not that one final product. Final product also will be delivered, but before that, I'll be delivering n number of product on top of it. So the example I quoted is the ICICI Bank today. All of you, is that clear?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so it will keep on finding. Even today, they keeps on adding a lot of stories. They keep on adding a lot of features. The changes keeps on happening. The menu color keeps on checking. The menu, whatever the menu is, that is also keeps on changing. Yeah. So everything keeps on changing. So addition also happening, the fine tuning also happening, the changes also happening. That is why it is an agile projects. Okay, all of you. Any questions, team here? No question?
No, sir.
Okay. And one more thing is very important. We talk about the backlog. One more terminology called as refactoring. Any guess what is refactoring? Refactoring. Any
Changing the ideas based upon the factors.
Changing the idea based upon the factors. Okay. Anything else? What is refactoring? Any guess?
Reprioritizing or
Refactoring is nothing but strengthening the code. For example, in the beginning, right, we will be having a lot of hard coding, correct? Because we are creating a product in the beginning. For example, my product is working in across the countries, yeah, but I will be hard coding the country code, no, in the beginning. Then only I can deliver the product. There will be a lot of hard coding also in the beginning, all of you. As you move on, I need to remove the hard coding. You're able to understand this?
Restructuring, we call it a restructuring.
Rearranging the code.
Rearranging.
Strengthening the code. That is called as
implementation. Implementation also.
So that is what is called as continuous improvement. So it is not just the functionality alone. Morning we discussed only about with respect to the two functionality, right? Functionality is getting added, functionality is getting fine-tuned. It's not only the functionality alone, the underlying code within that also is getting fine-tuned. Got it what I'm saying, all of you? So that technical term is called as refactoring. So refactoring is also created. Strengthening of the code is also created. It's not only strengthening or fine-tuning the output. If you're not doing refactoring, what will happen? Why refactoring is an important in Agile project? Suresh Babu.
In Agile, it is continuous improvement. That's why it is strengthening is required.
Okay. What will happen if it is not there?
The product will be limited.
Product will be not delivered in time.
Product will be working, no. Without strengthening the code, also product will be working. Functionality will not get affected. Okay. So this is very important. In the strengthening the code, please understand it's nothing but changing the code without changing the functionality. Changing the code, right? Without changing the functionality. That is what meaning of the refactoring also. So we are not changing anything. Then why refactoring is required?
Kind of quality.
Quality. Okay. So my question is, what will happen if you're not refactoring?
Product will be limited. We cannot generalize, or maybe we cannot use in all the scenarios.
This is what is very, very important, right? Please understand, listen here very carefully. You're having a product one. On top of it, I'm writing a product two. The product one should be capable enough to accommodate the product two. Got it what I'm saying? The product two is in order to keep the product two on top of the product one, right? The product one should be flexible enough to accommodate that also. That is also refactoring. If you are not refactoring, what will happen? After a certain point of time, you cannot add anything. You're able to understand? Then Agile will become fragile. Agile will become fragile if you are not refactoring it properly. Hope you are able to understand this. Yeah, that is why we have a lot of in the construction industry also, we have a good basement, right? Basement takes a lot of time. The construction of the house is so easy, but the basement needs to be really strong. Yeah, that is called as refactoring. If you are not refactoring, what will happen? The basement will be weak. Then accommodation of anything else, no, it's very, very difficult. But Agile means what? Flexibility, correct? And for that accommodation should happen, to happen, the core base, right, should be capable enough to accommodate. That is called as refactoring. Any question on this, team?
Sir, you mean to say refactoring means better integration?
Not better integration, writing the code better way.
Okay.
Writing the working code in a better way. Yeah. So previously we discussed, no, whatever is working, we also keep on fine tuning, correct?
Yeah.
Right. So that also means that strengthening the code. If you're not strengthening the code, what will happen? The product will be brittle. You cannot add something on top of it, no? So you need to do some work on that also.
Got it. Yeah.
That is very, 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 very important in Agile project, in particularly in software companies, right? People keep on doing a lot of work on top of it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. At a point of time, it will become a big escalation because beyond a point, no, you cannot add. For that to happen, the base should be very strong. The code should be very strong enough. That is called as refactoring, strengthening the code. Keep that word is very, very important. Yeah, it's not only just functionality alone, and you need to strengthen the code so that the code base is very clear. It can accommodate for any changes. That is called as what? Refactoring. All of you clear?
Every iteration will be refactored, right?
Sorry, Kirtana, can you repeat?
Every iteration will be using refactoring, right?
Yeah. So every iteration you need to think on that also. You are right. So you need to do some work on the refactoring, strengthening the code also. You'll do some work. So the story is right. There are multiple story. The point here is there are multiple stories also you'll do. Technique. The stories need not be only in the terms of business. In an Agile project, the story also will be technical story. All of you understand and agree?
Yes, sir.
That is very, very important. So a lot of people think no requirement means it's only the business requirement. But here the story can also be technical. So technical stories are also written. Keep that in mind. Yeah. And one more thing is very important in an Agile project. The terminology is important here. Technical depth. Can you guess what is technical depth? What is depth? What is technical depth? See, please understand, refactoring is nothing but strengthening the code, right? And technical depth is nothing but known error in your product. Known error in your product. Sometimes you will keep the error open. You all know, right? Your Microsoft Excel has a known error. I don't know how many of you know about it. Your Microsoft Word, what you are using it across the globe very frequently. That is a known error. We all use Microsoft Project Plan for project planning, correct? That is a known error. Forget about all the things. We use calculator in the system, correct? In any laptop. That calculator function, the calculator software has a known error. So it's not 100% bug free. So please understand that while you are creating a product, there will be some known errors will always, it's not that purposefully or unpurposeful. Sometimes it will be purposefully added also, but that is called as technical depth. So technical depth is nothing. Okay, in another way, no, in IT terminology, we call it as an error. Any errors are called as technical depth. Is that clear, all of you? So stories are written in terms of the technical depth also. Okay, now tell me, in Agile, they say that the size of the technical depth, listen here carefully, the size of the technical depth at any point of time should not be more than 2 weeks sprint of work, 2 sprints work. You're able to understand this? Stories
Sorry,
are
sir.
also,
Could you please repeat?
the size of the technical depth, the size of the errors, right? Errors also can be estimated how much time it will take. For example, in our case, I think we derived some 300 hours, right? And 300 plus 300 is 600 hours. Okay, if you have error in the known error in the project, in the product, which goes beyond 600 hours, okay, then what you need to do, you need to stop doing that, adding any functionality. You need to come and clear it out technical depth, then we need to move forward. You need to proceed. You're able to understand this? Or you want me to repeat again?
Could you repeat it again, sir?
Okay. See, what is the size of how many hours we talked about on sprint? We just took a model example, right? 2 weeks with 5 people, we around 300 hours per sprint or per iteration is what we estimated, correct? So maximum work I can do in a particular, the team can do in a sprint is 300 hours. Yeah. So in 2 sprint, how many hours they can do? A team can do how many hours roughly? 300 plus 300, 600 hours. Yeah. Now the technical errors, right? Error also will take its own time to fix it.
Correct.
I told you error is also in a form of a special story.
Yeah.
Right? Refactoring is also special story. So story is also being estimated task, and then that hour should not go beyond 600 hours.
Okay.
So I can accumulate the known error, but at any point of time, The moment that known error, the technical size of the technical debt goes beyond 2 weeks sprint duration or the effort, then I need to stop taking that new functionality. I need to take in toward the 2 sprint, I need to take only clearing it out all the errors. Then I need to proceed. Is it clear? Otherwise, what will happen? Again, the code will become brittle. See, you keep on adding a product, right? But you know there are errors. You keep on adding something. So it's like your basement, you have an error. You keep on adding it, and then it's a problem, correct? Beyond which you cannot add. Yeah. Same thing in your wall. No, you have some error, some problem. So you need to first fix it before even you consider the second floor, third floor, like that. Yeah. Is that clear, all of you? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That is very, very important. That is called as what? These are all the small terminologies which you all should know. That is called as technical debt. Debt means you owe, you need to fix it. Technical debt means technical errors. Okay. What about the project manager's role in an agile project? Any guess? Yes, please understand. Project manager has a no role. Please understand. Even in the traditional project, also we say project manager. I'm talking about that, not about the designation. I'm talking about the role of the project manager. There is no need for anybody to manage the project because there is a customer there, there is a team there. Customer gives the requirement, team does the work, customer accepts the requirement, then why you need a project manager? Is it clear? At the end of the day, that is what you want? All of you?
Yes.
Yeah. Customer gives the requirement, team understands the requirement, team does the requirement, customer accepts the requirement, customer accepts the story, then they move on to the next sprint. So there is no need for you. I mean, there is no need for a role called as a project manager. But please understand, this is what is very important. There, in a traditional, in an agile project, see, I'm not talking about some methodologies, right? They also put a role called a project manager also. See, they are trying to fool others. Okay. And there is a technical architect also in some agile methodology. I'm not talking about it. I'm talking about the methodologies which follow this agile manifesto will not have a role called as project manager. Is that clear? Don't ask me only, in my project, in my organization, I have an agile project. No, I am also a project manager like that. So that's a different thing. I'm not going to talk about it. You are not following the agile manifesto fully. Yeah. Now, there are 3 roles in an agile project. Anyhow, we'll discuss it later. One is called as we already know. What is the role? Product
Owner.
The other role is
Owner.
called as Scrum Master. Okay. So product owner is responsible for what? Product owner is responsible for maintaining
Backlog.
product backlog. Yes. All of you agree? Understand?
Yes.
Scrum Master is responsible for setting the process in agile projects. But nowadays a lot of organizations make the Scrum Master as a tracker of the project. They started tracking status of the project and all. They are also implementing a lot of tools. They are trying to dilute the role of the Scrum Master. But actual role of the Scrum Master is what? They need to set the process in an agile projects. They need to ensure that people are really following the process. Their job is not to track the project or report the project. Got it?
Okay.
Scrum Master. Third one is a team. Team means what? Together everybody achieves more. So in an agile project also, team does only the team related work. They do only the coding. That's all, nothing else. They work along with the customer. These are all the predominant 3 roles in any agile projects, including Scrum methodology. But because of the convenient, right, nowadays a lot of people are including a lot of other methodology also, but I'm not talking about it. That's what I'm telling. Agile says that these are all the predominant roles. Any question here, team?
No, sir.
And later point of time, they also introduce another role in your organization, assuming that you have a lot of Scrum Masters. Yeah. In your organization, assuming that there are a lot of Scrum Master. Okay. The Scrum Master will be reporting to a role called as Agile Coach. Agile Coach. So they are the super master of Scrum Masters. Okay. That is called as Agile coach. So Agile coach is another role. This is an evolving thing, right? Agile itself is getting evolved over a period of time, but we need to understand the different roles. See, the Scrum Master and Agile should follow a leadership style. I hope you might have learned about leadership style in the PMBOK, right? You might have learned something called servant leaderships. What is servant leader?
Interacting with others, individual interacting with others.
It's
a facilitator.
Fulfilling the
Facilitator.
requirement of the team.
Helping the requirement of the team. Okay. Anything else? What is the role of a servant leader? Others?
Basically,
We discussed this in detail when you are talking about different leadership style.
Basically, servant leaders are responsible people to building the team and taking care of growth and development of the team.
Okay. So what are the different leadership styles we learned in the PMBOK?
Motivation, influencing, team building,
and charismatic.
What are the different leadership styles? Laissez-faire, charismatic, transactional, transformational. You all need to remember if you are going for a PMP exam. Okay. One of the leadership style, what you learned is called as servant leaderships. What is servant leadership? It's like a servant, right? So, if, for example, you are coming, from the office, you are coming very late to the home, and you are very tired. Then, as soon as the servant looks into your face, actually you are tired, and then immediately he serve you a lot of water or cool drinks or right, whatever it is, stand up. Cool water. Yeah. So, what I'm trying to tell you, and did you ask for the cool water? The answer is no. But how the servant knows that you want the cool water? How the servant knows?
Looking at the condition.
Okay.
he knows you are tired from your work, you are coming home. So maybe
Understanding.
Understanding. Okay. Simple. Okay. What else?
Pressure.
So please understand the similar way. If you are a servant leader, without even the team comes and asks you, right? You should know what is the need for the team. You should know where the team is failing, right? Where the team is moving, what needs to be done, and you need to go and provide that. That is actually called servant leadership. So servant leadership is very important for a Scrum Master as well as an Agile coach. That's a leadership style, right? So you need to be a servant leader. Please understand, rather than giving them the fishes for their breakfast or lunch, you need to teach them actually how to fish, or how to, in a pond, how to take the fish out of the pond. That is what you need to do for your team. So usually in an Agile coach, right, Agile coach will not teach the team at all. Please understand, they will only coach the team. There is a difference between teaching and coaching. Any guess?
Yes.
What is the difference? Kirtana?
Training the team.
There is a difference between training, teaching, and coaching. What is the difference?
Teaching is more over the giving the instruction, and coaching it you need to show how to do this.
Okay, then you are talking about mentoring. What is mentoring? People try to confuse between coaching, teaching, mentoring, and guiding. There are all different terminologies. Okay, so we'll talk about first teaching and mentoring. Okay, now teaching is nothing but what happened, right? Whatever I am doing now can be considered as a teaching. I just pass on my knowledge to all of you. Yeah, that is called as teaching. The mentoring is something I need to come to your place where you are executing an Agile project. Then I need to give my helping hand for you to come up. That is called as mentoring. Is it clear?
Okay.
You know what is coaching? Coaching, I will not give you the helping hand to you. What I need to do? I need to coach you. I need to coach you in such a way that you do your job on your own. But mentoring, I gave the helping hand.
Okay.
Okay. So please understand the difference between a teaching, mentoring, and coaching. So, for example, right, let's say Narendra does a mistake in executing an agile project. Okay. And please understand, I can simply go and teach him, hey Narendra, this is the mistake you did. Instead of a 15 minutes daily stand-up meeting, you are conducting in 30 minutes. This is your productivity of the team. You are taking time, and so it is going down like that. But in agile coach, I will not go and tell this actually. You know what I'll do? Simple. Narendra, tell me what are the ways team spends hours. That's a question to me now from me to Narendra. You got it? What I'm saying? Narendra will say that this is the work what I do. Okay, then he'll say that in an agile stand-up meeting they are spending 30 minutes. Then I will ask the question to Narendra. Narendra, how much time no usually it require for a daily stand-up meeting, right? Because 30 minutes no we are eating the timeline of productivity hours of the team members, right? Then you'll say yes, Mowli. Then I will ask the question, what do we need to do to reduce that 30 minutes to 15 minutes? Narendra himself will give the solution. You got it? What I'm saying? Or if he's not giving me a right solution, again I will ask questions to clarify. So I will only guide him towards the right path. Is that clear? That is called as coaching. Hope you are able to understand the difference. Okay. So, but in India and all, no, they use a coaching center. Then they only teaching there. They actually don't coach. Actually, the coaching center, you know what they need to do? They should not teach you. They actually should help you to learn. You got it? What I'm saying? But actually, in a coaching center, people only teach. Right? That's a repetition of what the teacher or the professor does in the college or school. Yeah. But actually, it is not a coaching center at all. But we need to understand as a professional the difference between a teaching, mentoring, and coaching. Mentoring is a different steps. Mentor will give the hand, and the coach will actually guide you, but he will not give you the direct solution. Please understand. So a project manager gives a solution, but a coach or scrum master will not give you the solution at all. But they indirectly will guide you to correctly choose the right methodology, process, and all. So the scrum master role is something different. Nowadays, people make fun out of the scrum master role. They call it as a scrum master, and that poor guy is doing all the project management job. Right? People are also reporting to that scrum master. Yeah. And he creates also a lot of reports. He creates a tools, and it's a pathetic situation, right? In an organization where people does not know the value of agile. Yeah. So you as a professional should understand the real meaning of servant leadership and what is the role of the scrum master, product owner, and team in clear. Yeah. Let's move on. Any question on here so far? No question. Okay. Next one. What is spike? Any guess? In an agile project, the spike is very, very important. What is spike?
Sudden change.
Sorry, can you repeat, please?
Sudden change.
No, I'm not getting. I think you need to repeat.
Something like sudden change in.
Sudden change. Okay. Anything else?
Increase.
Oh, okay. Spike means in the graph there is a sudden spike, right? Okay, I understand where you are coming from. So please understand in agile terminology, spike means you do a lot of research and R&D work. Because you are trying to do a lot of uncertainty in a project, correct? You need to do some, simply put it, you need to do some Googling. Because when you go from one sprint to another sprint, you should be ready for the next sprint. Correct? Know what I'm saying? Yeah. Some preparement needs to be done for before you even start doing the sprint. Yeah. That is actually called a spike. Spike means you do a research and R&D kind of work. That is why in an agile project we don't plan 8 hours per day. How many hours we plan? Usually 5 to 6 hours. Why? Any guess why are we planning 5 to 6 hours for adding functionalities?
Productive hours is only 6.
Okay.
Remaining hours for research.
Now, please understand, number one is the research, number two is the spike. Of course, the spike, another one is the refactoring also done, technical depth also getting done. Got it what I'm saying? Yeah. So that 5 or 6 hours is only for adding the functionality. The remaining 2 hours or 3 hours, right? We are spending for the R&D work or technical depth or strengthening the code. For that we do. So if I plan for only 5 hours per resource per project, that 5 hours is only for what kind of work? Only addition. Got it? If you remember, Agile is both iterative and increment, right?
Yes, yes.
The incremental work is 5 hours. Remaining 3 hours, where it goes? Iterative work. I hope you are able to understand this. All of you. But can you plan these iterative hours? The answer is no. Correct? No. You are able to understand this?
Yes.
If there is a functionality, then I can plan. For incremental, there is a functionality. I can tell you how much of the story I need to do. So the 3 hours is something which is helpful for learning, development, and all in an Agile projects. The learning, development, research is very important timeline required for an Agile project. Otherwise, the sustainability is very, very difficult. So that is why you plan only 5 hours. Hope it is clear, all of you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Okay. And another thing is very important in Agile project. Backlog, we already discussed it, right? We know what is backlog and all. Continuous integration is a principle of Agile. What is continuous integration? Neelakandan? Neelakandan? Are you
Yes,
there?
yes, sir. Yes, sir. I could hear you, but I don't know what is it.
Okay, that's fine. What about Rajesh Sharma? What is continuous integration?
Continuously improving.
Improving what? You are right. Okay, Srinivasan, see. Srinivasan, are you there? Srini, are you there? Okay, Sundar Nadar. What is continuous integration? Sundar Nadar. Okay, Venkatesh.
I think the sprint between the integration between the sprints.
Exactly. Yeah. So please understand, when you talk about the iteration or sprints, right, there should be a complete linkage between one sprint to another sprint. All of you understand and agree? If there is no integration between one sprint to another sprint, then the product cannot be built over one product over the other. So product one will be completely different from product two. Then the integration will not occur. Finally, you are going to create only one product. Keep that in mind. Yeah. Even though we are giving multiple product, one product should be built on top of another product, as I told you. Finally, at the end of the day, you are going to have only big product, final product. Yeah. For that to happen, the continuous integration should happen. So you as a project manager or as an Agile enthusiast you need to continuously move on the continuous integration. If the integration is not fitting into it, then the addition will go. See, so far you talk about continuous improvement means what? Strengthening the code and other things we discussed, right? The addition will become very difficult if you are not doing the continuous integration. Okay. So you need to ensure that the continuous integration is there across throughout that one sprint to another sprint. Okay, one more ceremony also we do every day in an Agile project that is called as daily stand-up meeting. Any of the Agile people are there or CSM certified people?
Yes, sir.
Okay, can you tell me what is daily stand-up?
So the daily stand-up meeting is basically in between your team. This is a quick meeting, not more than 5 minutes. And in that meeting, basically, the team used to discuss what happened yesterday and what is going to happen. It's not a status meeting.
Okay. Okay.
15 minutes.
Yeah.
Stand-up meeting is 15 minutes.
Yes, 15 minutes. Yeah. And then no status.
To discuss about a day's target or.
Okay. So please understand, they talk about what task completed. Yeah. What task completed and what to be done today. What task you are going to do today. Then what else?
Is there any risk or impediments?
Yes. Is there any impediment? Right. This is what is happening. This is not a status report. This is very, very important. In an Agile project, a lot of people think daily stand-up meeting means it's a status meeting. Some people even started calling it as a status meeting. That's a pity. Yeah. They don't understand the meaning of Agile. Yeah. So please understand, I told you, morning, Agile is managing stability and flexibility, right? They are more on the stability side. They don't want to go to the flexible side. Yeah. That's not, I'm not saying it's wrong, but please understand, you in which spectrum in the stability and flexibility where you stand, you need to be very careful. So only 3 things are discussed. Okay, why should we discuss what task completed, what task today? Why impediment? Why should we discuss this?
To have a transparency in between all. Everybody should know
Remember,
everybody's work.
what are the characteristics of Agile, what we discuss? Transparency. Everybody should know what. See, now particularly I'm telling you impediments. I'll tell you in a traditional project, let's say that I want some Oracle database user ID password from Neelakandan. I know Neelakandan is having that. What I used to do, I sent an email to him, Neelakandan. Neelakandan morning I sent it 9 o'clock. Neelakandan see the mail only at 2 o'clock. And he replied back to me at 3 o'clock. And I also see his mail only at 4 o'clock. You see that morning 9 to 4, no, I lost my day work. But whereas in the impediments, what will happen? Yeah. And I will discuss it. Now, hey, I want an user ID password for Oracle. Then immediately Neelakandan will tell me, Moli, this is a user ID, this is a password. Done. Okay. Then I will say that, I have some problem on this. And Kirtana can help me. Hey, Moli, why it's a problem? And this is what the solution like this. So impediments also is an opportunity for other people to help you. So you also telling other people also know what task you completed, what task you are going to do, right? Ensures transparency, openness, and everything. And people are also helping each other. Yeah. And while you're talking about it, one more very important thing we forgot to talk here. There is a communication called as osmotic communication in an Agile projects. What is osmotic communication? Maybe Narendra again. You know what is osmotic communication?
No, never heard about it.
Okay. Anybody else heard about it? Osmotic communication.
Maybe there is no any defined communication method or communication channel.
See, you know that when in your office you have a cafeteria. In the cafeteria, right? Everybody will be talking. It will be a huge noise, right? But you know that you will not bother about what is the other table people are talking, right? 4 people will be sitting around the table, but there will be a clear cut communication in cafeteria. Let's say that I'm sitting along with 4 people, Narendra, Neelakandan, and Goldie, right? So what matters in the next table? No, other people are sitting. I was not bothered about what the other people are talking about in the other table. But for me, what I talk Narendra will be clear. What I talk to Goldie will be clear. What I'm trying to tell you, will not bother about what the other people are talking it. But sometimes, right, if some other next table people talk, you will also hear. For example, you are fond of Modi. Somebody say no Modi, all those things. Then that alone will pass you. Same way, in osmotic communication, right? That there will be a number of informations going around in a room. You pick up the information what is relevant for you, and you answer the information what is relevant for you. That is called as osmotic communication. Right? In Google Office and all, no, they have something called bean chair. You heard of it? Bean chair is nothing but a very flexible chair. Yeah, I hope nowadays it's getting very. No, the laptop will get connected. You will always, everybody will be sitting in a bean chair, so you can change the location of the chair. Yeah, and it's very flexible, and it's sometimes it will also be conference. Also will be like a round table conference. When it's a round table will always be round, right? But if you are in a very hierarchical room, no project manager is sitting inside a closed room, and will be having a big chair, and a team member will be having in an open place with a less convenience chair like that. Then you are maintaining a hierarchy in this thing. But Agile says that no, everybody will sit together. Okay, that's called as an Agile environment. There, everybody will talk with each other, and so people think that it will be like a chaotic environment, but actually it is not so. That adds more value. In fact, don't you think that after you go to a cafeteria and comes back, you will be more energetic, not because of the food what you eat, because of the conversation you had. The productive conversation will happen there only. Have you seen that? Same thing, you come and talk to you in your office environment, you will not talk like that. But Agile says that no, why are you keeping very low, not talking, keeping very quiet and all? That's not required, right? Where you are productive, that matters a lot. So have a round table, you do everything. Yeah, that is what is Agile. That is what is called as osmotic communication. So osmotic communication ensures, yeah. So people pick up what information they want. People contribute what information they want. That is what is called as osmotic communication. For that to happen, the environment matters a lot. Agile environment. Agile needs a different environment. For example, very simple. First thing is round table. But in our office, nowadays in IT offices, we don't have a round table at all in the working environment talking. Only have a cafeteria, we have it, or somewhere else we are having it, right? But Agile says that have a round table, right? Everybody can share. So what is the advantage of having a round table team in an Agile project?
Is no, just
easy to
it is
communicate.
knowledge sharing.
It's easy to
Collaboration, so
communicate.
easy to communicate.
Easy to communicate, right? In the round table, anybody can communicate with others. No person who is sitting left and right and opposite and all. Yeah. But if you're making a hierarchy, what will happen? If you want to talk to your backbench, you need to turn around. Yeah. And the other way around. So it's very painful. Yeah. But here in a round table, see, I'm not talking about size. Size can be bigger also, no problem. See, you are going to take a maximum of 10 people in a table. It's so easy, no? All 10 people will work together. So easy. So one team, one table, 10 people, right? So that environment is very, very important. People can talk with each other. People can also pass. There is no need for you to send an email for something. Like I told you, I want an user ID password. I need to send an email. Yeah. But here you are sitting, you'll be sitting opposite. I say, what is the user ID password? You will tell. Yeah. So that is very, very important. So that creates an osmotic communication. See, very simple. No, in our TV channels and all. No, they show that flying this one news. No, what is called news trigger. It will keep on rotating, right? Trigger. Similarly, assuming that there is a trigger going on, the information is going on inside the room. You pick it up. What is the information you want? Don't worry about Narendra and Neelakantan is talking about something else. I should not bother about it. No, you should not disturb me. Right? If they talk about me, I should disturb. Right? So thereby, please understand, people are also very productive. People think that there will be a chaos, but actually it goes in opposite way. People are more productive. People talk only necessary information. People talk only official information. People help each other. People carry each other when you are doing this kind of environment, right? Okay. And another thing is, okay, I told you daily stand-up meeting. We talk about the sprint planning. Once you complete the work, there is something called sprint demo. Demo is nothing but user acceptance testing. In a traditional project, we have something called validate scope, if you remember, all of you. Validate scope, yeah? In a PMBOK, we discussed that. That is nothing but a demo. Simply, we are doing it as a demo. Demo is a half-a-day ceremony. Whatever you did that in a 2.5 hours work, yeah? You are going to give a demo to the customer. Customer will simply say, story 1, accepted. Story 2, changes required. This is the change required, rejected. Story 3, accepted. So acceptance and rejection happen. But for that to happen, please understand each story should be independent of each other. Hope you are able to understand this. So there is something called inverse principle of story. Maybe we will discuss it in the evening. More detail on inverse principle. Yeah. I'll just introduce here. Every story should be having a inverse principle. In inverse principle, I stands for independent. Yeah. I stands for independent. And N stands for negotiable. Okay. and V stands for valuable, E stands for estimatable, S stands for small, T stands for testable. This is how your story should be defined. Then otherwise the demo will not be what you want. You got what I'm saying? Say customer will accept the sprint, accept one story, or reject another story. But you should be ready enough for it. Yeah. That then the independency is very important. So inverse principle, the first one is independent. Otherwise, this demo will not be helpful at all. Whereas in the traditional project, we give the entire product for a demo. The customer will accept the deliverable, the whole deliverable, or reject the whole deliverable. But here, the deliverable itself is a product, correct? The product consists of multiple stories, right? So customer will not say, I reject the product one. Rather, he say that in the product one, I will accept the story one. I reject the story two. Accept the story three. Reject. You will test it and do it. Any question on this team? Demo? All of you? Is that clear? Okay. Next one is retrospection. After the demo, the next ceremony is called as retrospection. In fact, you will wonder the retrospection is one full day ceremony. You did the work for 2 weeks, right? The end of the last week, one full day is conducted only for retrospection, because retrospection is more important than demo in agile projects. Demo is just an acceptance. Yeah. But retrospection is what? Continuous improvement. There we will talk about what happened wrong, what happened good, what is okay kind of thing. About quality, about risk, about people, about process, about procedure. In everything is getting continuous improvement. You do retrospect. Thereby, when I move from sprint 1 to sprint 2 or iteration 1 to iteration 2, I can do this iteration 2 better way than iteration 1. Is that clear? So in an agile project, if you are working in the 10th sprint, let's say 10th iteration, that means that should be completely different from the way you are executing the iteration 1. All of you understand and agree?
Yes.
Something better. When I say, that's what I mean. So, but if you are not doing the retrospection, what will happen? There will not be any improvement and all.
Improvements, no improvements.
There will not be any learning and all.
Yeah, there is no lesson learned.
Yes, there is no lessons learned. Yeah. So the way you cannot do something faster, better, cheaper, as you move from one sprint to another sprint to another sprint. So the maturity level of the team also increases because of the retrospection. Okay. But in the traditional project, we do retrospection only one year, once in a year. That too during the appraisal. That too we only do critics. Neelakandan, you did not do this. Neelakandan, I called you over the phone at 9 p.m. last year. You did not pick up like that. I always find a fault. Okay, after 1 year, I'm telling Neelakandan that 9 p.m. June 29th of June 2019, I called him. He is not picking up. It's a very pathetic situation, right? Today we are in. Yeah. But retrospection say no. Talk everything upfront. The 2 weeks, whatever happened, good means good also should be discussed. I need to go and appreciate Neelakandan. Neelakandan, you did this. This is a good thing. So by telling this, I also document it by ensuring that Neelakandan continue that aspects. It's not that no, today I do appreciate it and tomorrow he's not doing it. Yeah. And same thing with Narendra. Narendra, you did something good. No, you know what happened? You introduced me this process, right? This radio. That means what? Narendra's process should be followed in the continuously. Or something is not working, then I will not pinpoint Narendra or Neelakandan. I need to pinpoint what did not work. This is very, very important. The retrospection aspects should be driven by the Scrum Master. But the mistake should not be pinpointed towards a person. Okay. What we need to do to avoid the mistake? That's what we need to do. For example, very simple. So Neelakanta committed something, he is not delivered it. Now I need to ask the question, what I need to do so that it's not only for Neelakanta, it is for Goldie, it is for Prabhakara, who is for everybody, right? So how we need to commit in such a way that whatever is committed, we are delivering. That should be the objective. The question should not be Neelakanta, you committed, no, why you did not deliver, you did some mistake like that, no. Right? So it's a lessons learned for everybody. So I need to put a process around commitment, right? Or some small things about the commitment. If you're not clear, don't commit. Yeah. If you're not clear, ask questions. If everybody should clarify, right? So here in the agile projects, right? Once a story is given, please understand stories are accepted by everybody. It's not that Goldie is going to do the story or Kirtana is going to do the story. It's not like that. Goldie's job can be given to Kirtana. Kirtana's job can be given to Goldie. Please understand. So retrospection is for the project. It is not for the people. We should not pinpoint the mistakes.
Okay.
So that is also another ceremony happens. That ceremony is called as retrospection. Yeah. And of course, we discussed a lot about the documentation. Please understand, Agile is not against the documentation. Agile says that you see that whether the document is really required and then do the documentation. Yeah. If it is not required, don't do it. It depends on the Agile project. Okay. Some projects say that no, I want to do the documentation. Okay. If all agree for it, do it. No, nobody can say I'm not no outsider can stop you doing the work, but make it official and do the documentation. But in a traditional project, you know what happened? We create a lot of documents saying that internal quality, but we will not tell the customer at all. Sometimes, people will say, I'm busy with the customer work, I cannot do the audit. It's so pathetic, right? You are doing the audit only for the customer's sake, right? So what I'm trying to tell you in Agile, no, customer sits along with you, so you cannot hide anything, right? So what is required for you, then you do it. So documentation, you always need to take a double call. If everybody agree for it, if you feel that, or can we differ doing the document in a better way? A lot of people say documentation, Mowgli, I'm creating a product. For the product, I'm creating a documentation. Can you need to do it, the documentation every sprint? The answer is no. These kind of documentation can be done at the end of the sprint, end of the project. There you have a full-fledged product. For that, you want to create a document, you can do the document. Where? At the end, not every sprint. It's because every sprint the product keeps on changing, right? Then documentation also keeps on changing. So you are redoing your work. You are actually wasting a lot of your time. I hope you are able to understand this. You are able to understand this clear?
Yes.
But at the end of the last sprint, when the product is very high, it's going to be the stable, and this is what the final sprint. There you do the documentation. Nobody stops you. So when it is required, do it. When it is not required, don't do it. So there is no prescriptive method. What is required, what is not required. You along with the customer needs to decide it. Okay. That is what's over documentation, right? So documentation is this side, right hand side. So you need to think a call. You need to take a call on that. Okay. Next concept, right, is called as pair programming. Anybody guess what is pair programming? See some people.
And that in that pair programming, one person can do the code and another person will review it or test it. So it will be, very quick. It will be not taking too much of time.
It is like a lorry driver and cleaner, no? I hope you know about it, right? In a lorry, there is a driver and there is a cleaner. Actually, cleaner also will drive the lorry. In a long term, no, in you're going for a goods, right, in a lorry. So there will always be a driver will interchange the role of the cleaner, and cleaner will take the role of the driver.
Yes.
Yeah. Same way in Agile project, what it says that, say, for example, the Siri is a developer and Srini is a tester. Usually what happens, Siri will completely develop the code and give it to Srini. And then Srini will say, in the beginning of the code, there should be a comment like this. That he even finished Siri even finished the code. But now Srini is commenting on the beginning of the code. But rather, when Siri is writing the code, in side by side, Srini also will be testing the code. It will be easy, no? So as soon as you write it, hey, first you write the documentation. First you write this. Next you write like this, you write it, right? That way, rework can be avoided. Why should you first create the mistake and then redo the mistake, or sorry, and avoid the mistake? Rework, no? So that is called as pair programming. Again, here also people think that no, it's a double work. Actually, it is avoiding a lot of work. It saves a lot of time. I hope you are able to understand this.
Yes, sir.
So reviewer and coder can work together. So our reviewer can guide the coder also in other way around. Yeah. So that way coder write a better code. Then reviewer say yes, everything is good because I only instructed him to do. So that's the role of the reviewer and the coder. So that is called as pair programming. Yeah. And one more thing, there is something called TDD, test driven development. Same thing as a pair programming. Yeah. Any question? Okay. What is test driven development? Narendra?
It's basically the dev owns quality. Means while developing the core itself, you need to take care of your quality.
Okay. So please understand, usually in a traditional project, first we write the code and then we test the code, correct?
Yes.
TDD say first you write the code for testing and then do the coding itself. It requires a different change in the mindset. I'm not asking you to test the code, but you write the testing, right? Whatever the, see, testing is also written in a form of a code. I hope you are able to understand this, right? It is not, I'm not talking about the manual testing. I'm assuming that you write a code for testing also, you write a code also. Yeah. So first write the testing related aspects and then do the coding. What is the advantage of that actually?
Minimize the time.
So same way, I told you pair programming, correct? Reviewer versus coding. Here, the moment I know that what is going to be tested in the code, I will write the coding in such a way that the testing comes out for good. I hope all of you are able to understand this. Simply put it, no, even this is not, it is followed in the construction industry also, right? There are some guidelines given. So you know that, some kind of combinations of the materials. So they actually do that combination of the material, then they construct the building. It is not that somebody else will come and test it, and then so testing related aspects are known upfront, and then the coding is written based on the testing. That is called as test-driven development. This itself is one of the agile methodology. There is no Scrum, there is nothing XP, there is no DSTM and all. First write the testing, and then do the coding. This is called as what? TDD, test-driven development. So the development itself is driven by testing. In some organization, they follow this meticulously, and thereby rework is avoided. Thereby the coding is strengthened, and the code is written in a better way. Yeah. Okay. So these are all the agile concepts which I would like to cover. Anything? Any questions, team? And before we finish the class, right today, I'll just like to take you few of the. 1 minute. What happened? Few of the methodologies also. We discuss about Scrum so far, right? You're able to see the screen, all of you?
Yes.
So, okay, you see that Scrum is one of the agile methodology. I told you extreme programming is another agile methodology. Crystal is another methodology. Yeah. Kanban is another methodology. So the methodology is this side of the table, and we have a lot of principles, right? We talk about 4 values and 12 agile principles, right? Based on that, all these methodologies are written. So please understand, agile is a concept umbrella. Yeah. Within which there are a lot of methodologies are going around in the world, including what is that? The safe agile. That is another methodology. That's also getting very famous. I told you. Yeah. But whatever is that, without understanding the big umbrella, it's very difficult for you to understand this individual. What is the principles and what is the methodology? That is why today morning we discuss about the principles of the 4 values and 12 principles Agile Manifesto, and then we discuss about different methodologies. I mean, methodologies are based on the Agile. Okay. So far in the morning, what we discuss about? We discuss about a lot of principles of Agile. Is that clear? So what is that we are going to do talking about the evening, right? I'm going to take one of the very famous methodology, which all of you must be knowing it already, Scrum methodology. Yeah. So in the evening, we will deep dive into one of the methodology called as Scrum methodology and see that how whatever we learned so far, the principles, how are you going to apply in that particular Scrum methodology. We'll also touch upon other Kanban methodology or DSTM, other methodologies also. But predominantly, we'll be discussing a lot on the Scrum methodologies in the evening. Okay. So at what time we are coming back? 4 o'clock. Any questions, team?
Not now, sir.
No questions means you understood everything?
No, sir. Need to go through.
Okay. So please go through and ask questions, clarifications. Okay. And evening 4 o'clock exactly, we'll start the next session. We'll deep dive into the Scrum. Yeah. Thank you very much.
Hi,
Yes.
I have one doubt.
Please.
And I think based on this training, can I think anybody able to go for the Scrum Master certification as well?
Okay, CSM certification you can go for, but CSM certification is an all-pass exam.
Okay.
Okay, and people put it in I'm a CSM and all, but it's an all-pass exam. But if you really want to get into a certification, I strongly recommending you to go for next level certification called as Agile Certified Practitioner from PMI.
Okay.
In fact, whatever that slide I'm using it is from the ACP exam only.
So for ACP we need to have a different training, or this training will be helpful?
This training will be helpful. You also need to attend a different training because that's a 2.5 days training actually. In fact, you need to get the contract hours similar to this PMP, right? You attended 35 contract hours similar to that one also. You need to get it there.
Okay.
This you are attending it only for 8 hours, but this will be the fundamental start for you.
In PMP exam, how many questions I can expect from Agile projects?
If you write the exam before December, you will expect only 5 questions, Suresh, from whatever you are discussing it throughout this day. But if you write after December, a lot of questions will be there. Who knows, more than 100 also. You got it, Suresh?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
Hi, Prashant speaking.
Hi, Prashant. Yes.
Yes, sir, how are you?
Good.
Yeah. So the same PMI ACP training we do have launch this month. July 18, we have a PMI ACP. If anyone interested, they can join.
Sure, Prashant, I will get in touch with you.
Yeah. Just for information, I shared some candidates are asking for that.
Sure. I will get in touch with you.
We'll also be deep diving the concepts in the ACP
Yeah,
as
it is
per
a
the
3 days
syllabus.
program.
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, any other question? Okay, thank you very much. See you all at 4 p.m. today. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.